It was payback and then some. The Roughnecks got the revenge on the team that knocked them out of the NLL playoffs last season, sending the Colorado Mammoth into extinction last weekend. Lewis Ratcliffe was a one-man wrecking crew with 6 goals. Now he and the Roughnecks look to swat the Swarm back to Minnesota. McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks is next on Shaw.
Pleasant good evening, everyone. We're at the Pengrove Saddledome. Calgary Roughnecks lacrosse is on the air. Mark Stephen along with John Kilbride.
Hello.
John, welcome back. Hello.
Thank you.
Let's welcome the folks into another game of the Roughnecks, who are trying to build off a very positive game. Big momentum coming out of the Colorado game. Can they build on that in this game tonight?
Absolutely. I think there was a lot of positives coming out of that game last week. They touched everything, special teams, offense, defense. There were improvements in all games that they're going to bring into tonight's flow.
Take a look at Minnesota. They're in with a record of 1-2. They were really roughed up on the scoreboard in their last game, but a couple of quick points that they have to improve on.
Well, Minnesota's a very young team, so you're going to expect some hurdles for sure, but they have strong goaltending, an excellent goaltending tandem, and they do have some upside with some of their offensive guys. They just have to try to take their game to the next level.
Well, one of their stars, one of the keys to their game individually, is actually a Calgarian and a former member of the Calgary Roughnecks. Andrew Beers has had a lot of success here in lacrosse, now is playing for the Minnesota club. Some thoughts on him?
Yeah, Andrew Beers, I know him quite well. He's a fantastic player, excellent runner, superb offensive upside, and just a great team guy. He would never do anything to go against the team. So I look to him to factor in nicely tonight.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about this Minnesota team. What are some things they'll have to do tonight?
Well, Minnesota has to tap into some offensive creativity. They're coming in flatlined offensively, so they've got to get something going. Also, they need to mitigate Calgary's offensive runs. They don't have the talent to be able to come back 3, 4, 5 goals. Keep Calgary's PP off the floor. Minnesota's penalty kill is just not what it needs to be right now. And do not get outworked. At the very bottom, at the very least, make sure your work ethic is there.
All right, well, that's the situation as far as Minnesota is concerned. Let's take a look at the homestanding Calgary Roughnecks and some people, and maybe one individual that you estimate will be a real key for this team to try and run their win streak to 3 games this year.
One of the guys I really like and I want to focus on tonight is Jeff Schattler. I think this is a guy who had his best game of the year so far last year, or last game against Colorado. I think he's an excellent runner in transition, but lots of guys have speed. He has finish as well, so he can finish that off. So I look to him. He's taking a more prominent role within this Roughnecks club, so I look to see him have an excellent game. Keys to the game for Calgary, of course, strong transition game. That's where everything needs to flow in the middle 2/3 of the floor. More offensive flow, so we call that swing passes, left to right, right to left. Trust in the PK rotation to get their penalty kill where it needs to be, and come out of the gate with energy. So find some momentum right out of the gate so they're not find themselves in the second quarter, the third quarter, trying to claw back.
Well, thanks, John. Let's go down to the bench area now and visit with Barry Strader, and he has a special guest standing by.
Thanks very much, Caleb. Against the Minnesota Swarm tonight, a team you don't get to see very often, but they come into this game leading the NLL and fighting majors. Are you expecting to see a few fisticuffs tonight?
Well, you never know. I think the fans are hoping for it. You know, it's always a good thing when you get a little fight going, especially if you're behind, it changes momentum. You know, we got a lot of tough guys on this team, and they got a few in there. So, you know, I think if the fans are loud enough and they really want it that bad, it'll happen.
Confidence level must be pretty high with your group right now, coming off what was a huge win against Colorado last week.
Yeah, it was. You know, after that victory, we were very high. We were very confident with ourselves. But, you know, that was only one game. And this is another one. Last year, Minnesota pretty much embarrassed us in here in Calgary. And we have a little payback time for them. So it should be make for an interesting game.
You have played every single game for the Calgary Roughnecks since the franchise has been in existence. You're a Calgary native. How special has that been for you to play professional lacrosse in your hometown city and play every game so far?
Well, it's been great, and I hope you didn't just jinx me there. But no, it's been unreal. It's been you know, such a great ride. You know, I don't know how many years I got left in me. Probably a few, maybe 1 or 2 more. But it's been great. Just coming back to Calgary when I was in Toronto, just being able to come back to Calgary and help the sport grow so much in the city that's given me so much. So it's just a great honor for myself.
Thanks, Caleb. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Caleb Toth, the all-time leading scorer for the Calgary Roughnecks. Now let's go back upstairs.
All right, thank you very much, Barry. This is McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks lacrosse on Shaw.
Whichever your preference, with so many downtown spots to shop at, you're sure to find something to please everyone, even yourself. Find your D-Spot.
The City of Calgary Recreation offers a variety of affordable pass options for you and your family. Visit any of our aquatics and fitness centers or Southland and Village Square leisure centers for all of your fun and fitness needs. Call 311 or visit www.calgary.ca/recreation.
TextForCars.com, the modern way of buying and selling cars. Our online service allows you to instantly send and receive a text message for the vehicle you're buying or selling. Plus, you list your car for free. Join the revolution. TextForCars.com. Ladies, there are only 50 spots available in this year's Cardale Lady Cross Training Camp for Women. On April 7th, you can learn the game from the Roughnecks themselves at the National Sport Development Cardale Training Center. For all the details, visit CardaleHomes.com.
Shaw TV has 6 exciting McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks games this season. You can catch intense Roughnecks action as they battle their way through the NLL in pursuit of the championship. The road to victory will be full of hard hits and tough opponents. Be part of the raging crowds as they stand up against top teams throughout the league. Tune in for 6 games of McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks. The next game is February 10th when Philadelphia is in Calgary. Only on Shaw TV.
And welcome back. It's the Swarm and the Calgary Roughnecks live from the Pengrowth Saddledome. Mark Stephen and John Kilbride will have a ceremonial face-off as the Roughnecks and the Swarm get set to meet for their first time this year. Scott Cole, the outgoing linebacker of the Calgary Stampeders, will have the ceremonial face-off. But let's just talk in goal. The Minnesota Swarm going with Matt Disher, a veteran that you're familiar with. Let's talk a little bit about his situation. Disher with rather lofty goals against average, but it was a tough game all around last week in Buffalo.
Yeah, at first glance, some might say this is an interesting move to put Disher in net when Patterson, the younger Patterson, has played primarily most of their minutes. In fact, all of 3 quarters. But Matt Disher is a veteran guy. He's a veteran player, excellent goalie. And, you know, the coach has an obligation and responsibility to get him some minutes to keep him engaged with the team over the course of the season, because you never know when you're going to need your backup or both your goalies to come in.
Andrew Leishon making his 4th consecutive start for the Calgary Roughnecks. His goals against average 13-15, which in NLL standards pretty darn good. And here we are getting ready to go between the Swarm and the Calgary Roughnecks. Dwayne Zeelenberg is the head referee. Greg Pepper and Brent Raniere, the other officials for the NLL, assigning them to this game today. All right, we'll get this thing going. The Swarm are 1-2, as we mentioned. Their real problem area, they are among the lowest scoring teams in the league. We'll see how they counter that as we're ready to get things going. Ray for Calgary, as Calgary's in their traditional home red uniforms. They wore special occasion blacks last time. We're getting things going, just underway. Minnesota with the ball. Hill has it for the Swarm across the Calgary line. Hill stopping, goes across the 4 for Cousins. He fakes a shot, loses the handle. Loose ball is gathered up by Cousins, then he loses it again. There's a collision along the boards. Taylor Ray wreaking havoc for Calgary. Now we have a push away from the ball, and it goes over to the Roughnecks.
So not a bad start for Minnesota. Just get comfortable, get some touches. Unfortunately, they had an unforced turnover there.
Here comes Lewis Ratcliffe, the 6-goal man, established some NLL history last week. Gives it up for Ranger. There's a shot high and wide. Ratcliffe off the end boards. His shot is deflected into the corner. Ranger has it for Calgary. He runs away from a couple of checks, goes to the side of the net to Toth. In front, they score! Sean Cable cutting in, Calgary up 1-0.
Wow, absolutely excellent effort all around. Scott Ranger picking up the loose ball, finding Caleb Toth. In a simple two-man game, everybody went to the ball. Everybody went to Scott Ranger. We'll see this here. Comes out of the corner, finds Toth down low, and Toth, great vision, sees Cable cutting through the middle and hits him, and he gets a wide open look. Great start for Sean Cable.
And there's a great save by Leishon off of the face-off. Ogilvie collision along the end boards with Pollock. And Minnesota will get possession of the ball. Pollock behind the net for Minnesota. Calgary up 1-0. That was just Cable's second goal of the season. Calgary entering the game at 2-1. Stewart with the ball, dancing for Minnesota. Looks to cut towards the goal. Being bothered by Shatler. Shot clock at 16. On top for Pollock. Pollock gives it up. The Swarm try to get a shot off. There's one high and wide by Hill, bouncing off the end boards. It's loose, and we have a pushing infraction. Ball will go to Minnesota.
Yeah, a little bit off the ball there, I think, on Hevner. Got a interference call there, which is unfortunate because it would have been Calgary's ball.
Hevner, a member of the Minnesota Wild last year, acquired in the offseason. Here's Behrens breaking in for Minnesota. Stops, he retreats, and goes back out high. That is broken up. Krzyzewski has a clear break. He's closing in on goal. He sets up, he shoots. Big save knocked away by Disher. That was half a floor and just couldn't get her done.
Yeah, Sushesky has excellent speed and great anticipation of the play. He jumps in that pass that Beers tried to make and got himself a clean breakaway. Unfortunately, couldn't connect.
You don't get runs like that half the length of the floor. I'll tell you that too often. Pollock in the corner for Minnesota. He stops, comes back out, looks for a lane. Now gives it for Stewart off his stick. It goes loose in the corner, and Calgary picks it up. Oleski has it ahead for Andrew McBride. McBride is at center for Calgary. McBride now stops, gives it for a trailing Lewis Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe comes in with a move. He stops, dancing with the ball, goes in front. Return pass for Ratcliffe, 1-0 Calgary. Ratcliffe on top for Ranger. He cuts off a pick, but we have a penalty, as I believe we're going to see Taylor Ray go to the box for leveling a Minnesota Swarm player. That's exactly what's going to go on.
That's right. Taylor Ray getting a little overzealous in his two-man play, trying to set a pick there for Ranger, and ended up running over his player in the process.
He not only set a pick, he built a pick.
As you can see, when big guys like that sometimes have to pull off a little bit.
Minnesota's power play clicking at 35%, among the lowest in the league. Here we go, Ward on top, their leading scorer, fires and scores.
Well, there you go. When things aren't going well, you have to just go back to the basics, go to fundamentals. Here they're not running anything special, just a couple quick touches on the top, and the point guy on the power play just shoots it in.
Ward on top, he has now 12 points, his fourth goal of the season. The Wild, one of the lowest scoring teams in the league. Off the draw, the ball rolls into the Minnesota zone where Disher has it. Giving it up for Cousins. Cousins being bothered by Molesky. Picked up on the play by Ray, who was in the box. Ray comes in being bothered by a member of the Swarm, Behrens. Ray on top. Gives it around for Molesky. Plays a two-man game with Cable, who has Calgary's only goal. Shot clock is at 15. Goes across in front for Ranger. He's tied up, can't get a shot off. Ball loose along the end boards. There's a collision for it. Cable comes in, scoops it up. He's pinned along the end and comes back out. The shot clock is at 3. Shot clock is at 2. Calgary from long distance. Molesky fires, and Calgary guilty of a 30-second shot clock violation. The Swarm coming back with the ball. Swarm are owned by the parent company that owns the National Hockey League's Minnesota Wild, kind of a model for a lot of NLL teams. Ward on top for the Swarm. He veers right, goes into the corner, being harassed by McBride. Goes around behind the net, gives it up in front. They can't connect on a pass to Hill. There's a long shot by Hall, bounces off the end boards, comes right back to him, turns and fires again. That's deflected wide, and they have a 30-second shot clock violation. So the Swarm turned the ball over as well.
Yeah, 30-second shot clock violation, but a penalty on the play as well against the Roughnecks. Going to get a slashing on McNish.
Ryan McNish with the infraction. 25 years old from Winnipeg.
Yep. So we'll get another chance here to take a look at Calgary's PK here. Let's see how the rotation happens with their top two guys.
Stewart with the ball on the point for Ward. He gets it. He's on top. Looks for a shot. Bothered by McBride. Stewart has it for the Swarm on top for Ward. He goes right. There's a shot by Hall. Knocked away. Loose in the corner. Picked up by the Swarm. Hill has the ball again for Hall. Big save. Leishon. Ball loose on the floor in front. Picked up by Minnesota. Pollock has the ball. Gives it up for Hall. There's a shot deflected off the end glass. Good save by Andrew Leishon. 1:30 remaining. Man up situation for the Minnesota Swarm. There's a shot by Hall. Another big save by Leishon. And back comes Calgary. McBride with the ball. Loses the handle momentarily, being bothered by Dean Hill. They tie up one another. And we have a whistle.
There we have a 10-second violation. So you have 10 seconds to get the ball out of your zone when you gain possession.
Wild have a power play opportunity. Stewart on top, gets a return pass. Stewart over the shoulder pass. Gives it for Pollock. He goes cross. There's a shot. Big save by Leishon. They bang for it behind the net, and Leishon has it. Big Leishon gives it up for Molesky. Stewart for the Swarm, unable to catch up. Molesky comes in. He has himself a lane. Goes to the goal, shoots and scores! Jeff Molesky going coast to coast.
I think that one's going to count as a short-handed marker. Still 46 seconds left on the penalty. And this is just a straight transition game. Molesky gets the ball, runs strong to the net, slows down and sees that nobody commits to him, so he's able to go straight to the cage and finish this play off.
Calgary's sixth shorthanded goal of the season. And we're only 4 games in. 6 in an entire season, John, would be a real productive time. They've got it in very short order.
Oh yeah, they're off to a great start in that category.
The helmet is jarred loose. Ball is picked up in the Calgary zone by Shattler. He's off and running in full speed. He comes up, passing right to McBride. Gives it back for Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe backs out and spies the defense of the Minnesota Swarm. Killing some time.
So we'll see here, they try to move the ball up in the fast break and then look for the slow break, and it's not there, so they just wait for to get the right personnel out there.
Ratcliffe dancing, looks for a lane, now backs out. A man advantage, 2 seconds. Ball goes to the open side of the floor, and we have a shot clock violation as well on Calgary. So that's the situation. This is McDonald Roughnecks Lacrosse on the Pengrove Saddledome on Shaw.
Who is the largest Lamborghini and Ferrari dealer in Canada? Who does performance work and services every car they sell? Who has tons of Lamborghini and Ferrari products? ZR Auto. Live your dreams now.
7 acres of Shakers, Calgary's newest family fun center. More challenge, more adventure, and definitely more fun for everyone. Take a tour on our 3D website. You'll see Shakers, Calgary's newest action-packed entertainment for everyone.
Ladies, there are only 50 spots available in this year's Cardale Lady Cross Training Camp for Women. On April 7th, you can learn the game from the Roughnecks themselves at the National Sport Development Cardale Training Center. For all the details, visit cardalehomes.com. TextForCars.com, the modern way of buying and selling cars. Our online service allows you to instantly send and receive a text message for the vehicle you're buying or selling. Plus, you list your car for free. Join the revolution. TextForCars.com.
Next, lead the Minnesota Swarm here in the first quarter at the Pengrove Saddledome. I'm joined by Jeff Molesky, who just scored the go-ahead goal, shorthanded for the Roughnecks. Jeff, tell us about that goal. First of all, a fast break off the turnover.
Yeah, we're just really trying to push the ball up, try and get as many transition breaks as we can, try and keep their offensive guys on the floor and play defense. Try and push the ball a little more this year.
That seems to be a big difference from the team last year, and you got 3 shorthanded goals against Colorado last week. How big of a difference can that make in a game?
Oh, you bet. It's a huge difference. It just, evens it up even if they do score a power play goal in the same one. So it's a huge difference. We're just trying to get as much opportunity as we can off the breaks.
All right, thanks a lot, Jeff. Good luck the rest of the game. Jeff Molesky, who's a sawmill worker in Prince George during his day job during the week, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Barry Strader. 2-1 Calgary on top over the Minnesota Swarm. 9 minutes, 7 seconds remaining in our opening quarter from the Pengrowth Saddledome. Saturday night NLL action. So glad you're a part of it. Ward for the Minnesota Swarm with the ball, gives it up for Hilt. He closes it on goal, shoots and scores. Bounces it by Leishon. And the Swarm have tied the game up as Dean Hill finds the net.
Yeah, this is a nice 2-man game. We call this a block or a screen in lacrosse, or block in lacrosse. Ward will just sweep outside using his own man as a block, and then he finds a lane underneath and is able to find the back of the net.
Calgary up the draw, and Nolan Hebner with the ball. He comes in, fires and scores! So the Roughnecks answer very quickly and reassume the lead.
That's exactly what Calgary needs. Talk about hanging on to momentum. Hebner just picks the ball up right off the draw, goes right up the middle and finds the net here. Nobody from Minnesota gets to him quick enough to contest that shot.
No, Team Minnesota, everybody was saying, you get it, I'll take them, and nobody did either. So Minnesota gives up the goal, but they're back with the ball. Pollock has it, shooter spot, left side stopping. He backs out, looks for a lane, cuts off a pick, now he's shut off. He spins, goes back out high. Martin with the ball. Going across, winding up, there's a shot by Cousins off the end boards. Big rebound, bounces in front of the bench area, and Molesky scoops it up for Calgary. Possible 3-on-1. Molesky gives it for Shatler. He shoots, big save. Rebound is loose, picked up by Molesky for Calgary. Molesky being double teamed goes way out on top for Caleb Toth, and Calgary has 23 on the shot clock. Ratcliffe carries the ball in, he cradles it for Calgary. Lewis Ratcliffe standing, look to cut off a pick. Now stops, throws it in front. There's an over-the-shoulder shot by Caleb Toth. It goes wide. Rebound picked up by Minnesota, and Disher is back. Ahead for Andrew Beers. Beers, the former Roughneck, closing in. His pass goes through the stick of Kelly Hall, and Calgary picks it up on the turnover. Halfway through our first quarter, 3-2, Calgary with the lead. Ratcliffe with the ball. He stops. He's being bothered. He cuts off a pick, gives it up in the corner. Krzyzewski gives it up for Captain Tracy Koleski. Koleski dances. He comes down the lane, fires, tries to pass, and then fires it wide. Downry in the corner picks it up for Calgary. Shot clock is at 2. His shot whistles wide, and Calgary is whistled for a shot clock violation.
Pretty good offensive series there by Calgary. Tracy and Ranger were working a 2-man game, and I think Tracy kind of missed Ranger underneath on his back pick.
On the Pengrowth Saddledome, Calgary's third home game. Stewart in the corner, goes one-on-one. He's being bothered in front, turns and fires. Big save by Leishon. And we have a pushing infraction in front of the net. Is it going to result in a penalty? It would appear.
Yeah, it looks like Calgary's going to get another penalty. The stick, we'll see if we can catch this on the replay, but I believe McNish's stick slipped up over the shoulder pads into the neck. So usually a ref is going to call that of some sort of penalty, a rough, a cross check, a high stick, something. So he's got him, and there we see he hooks it with the back. Definitely, McNish's stick definitely slides up his back.
So Minnesota goes back on the power play. Ward on top on the point for the Swarm. He looked to shoot, changed his mind, gets it back, fires a shot that's wide. Big rebound bouncing off the end boards into the Calgary bench. 1:41 remaining in the man advantage for the Minnesota Swarm. Calgary's Lewis Ratcliffe brings the ball into the attacking zone. He stops, now retreats to kill some time. Calgary's penalty kill entering the game. They're right at 50%. That's being tested tonight. Calgary turns the ball over as Cousins brings it back up for the Swarm.
Yeah, 50% is not too bad. Statistically, that's middle of the pack right now, but they want to climb up a little bit. That's not a function of the personnel, though, I don't think. It's just a matter of getting their rotation, getting on the same page.
There's a quick shot by Hall, knocked down by Taylor Ray. He goes to the corner, picks up the loose ball. Nice play by Taylor Ray. Bounces it ahead for Craig Gelsvik. Gelsvik ahead, runs through the center circle, stopped for Calgary. Calgary holding a 3-2 lead. Kelusky with 45 seconds left. Calgary has that to kill in the penalty to McNish. Caleb Toth for Calgary. Standing goes across the floor to Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe across the line. Goes in front. There's a shot that bounces wide of the net by Tracy Kelusky. Rebound is loose. Calgary battling for it. It's on the floor. Picked up by Machida. He loses it for Minnesota. Picked up again by Tracy Kelusky. 19 seconds remaining in the man advantage situation for Minnesota.
Excellent offensive loose ball there, worked by Gowndry, Kelusky, and Ratcliffe. Now they want to manage the clock here. Calgary will just sit back, try to get the shot clock down to the 5-second mark, 4 seconds, then try to generate a shot.
The shot clock is at 5 as Ratcliffe bobs and weaves. He stops, gives it back out on top. That's controlled by Caleb Toth. Toth told me this week he's ready to break out as Calgary turns the ball over on a shot clock violation. 4:52 remaining in the opening quarter of the ball game. This is McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks lacrosse on Shaw.
April 1943, Eva was put on a train load of 1,000 Jewish people destined for Auschwitz, a birthday present for Hitler. Learn more about local hero Eva Brewster and her drive to ensure the Holocaust is never repeated. Exhibit opening January 27th at the Galt.
Flight Center, your discount travel specialists with over 1,500 outlets worldwide. For friendly professional advice and service, visit one of our 130 locations across Canada or call 1-877-WORLD-05. And remember, we guarantee to beat any available airfare.
Petland. Pets make life better.
The Medicine Hat Lodge is Southern Alberta's only 4-star resort and entertainment complex. Enjoy executive guest rooms and suites, cozy restaurants and lounges, a giant indoor water slide park, full-service casino, luxury spa, banquet and conference facilities, and so much more.
Welcome back to the Pengrowth Saddledome. 3-2 Calgary leads Minnesota here in the first quarter. I'm joined by Riley Kemp of the Minnesota Swarm, a native of High River, Alberta, but you grew up in Victoria, BC. Still, it must be nice for you to come out west on an East Division team. You don't get that chance very often.
True. I got into the league, and this is about the closest I get to home. So I got about 25 family members here that are still around here, so it's nice to get the support and get back to where I got some family.
Last week, Calgary had a lot of success on the power play. Killing penalties has been a bit of a problem area for the Swarm so far. How important is it going to be to stay out of the box tonight?
We know the shooters they have, so I'm actually one of the guys that's blocking off, and it's detrimental. We have to lock off these guys and hopefully keep it a tight game as close as we can. Win down the stretch.
All right, thanks a lot, Riley. Good luck the rest of the game. Riley Kemp, Minnesota Swarm, guys.
Well, the Swarm came in here a year ago and knocked off the Roughnecks. They were not happy with the outcome, needless to say. Did not think it was one of their top games. Felt they were out goaltended on that particular night. But
yep.
New night, new team. Minnesota has a new coach. They're third in 3 years.
Third in 3 years, that's right. That's pretty tough to find some continuity within your system. So hopefully they can stick with this one and try to build with it underneath him.
Minnesota with the ball in the attacking zone. Hall, quick shot. There's a save by Andrew Lachon, and back comes Calgary. Taylor Ray is in full sprint. He passes ahead off the end of the stick of Ranger. It's loose on the floor. They battle for it. Minnesota picks up the ball, and the Swarm come back. Beers, the native of Calgary, is across the line, has the ball. He stops, Feeds a trailing Pollock. There's a shot that bounces wide of the net. A rebound off the end boards. It's loose and scooped up finally by Molesky for Calgary. The Swarm leading 8-5 in the shots on goal division late in this first quarter. Ratcliffe for Calgary, dancing in the corner, throws to a cutting Ranger. He goes around behind the net with the ball, stops, plays it in the corner for Lewis Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe on top for Hevener. He looks for a lane, fires a shot, saved by Disher, rebound picked up, score! Sean Cable, 2 goals, and he was Johnny on the spot. Or is that Sean on the spot, John? Calgary up 4-2.
He absolutely was on the spot there. This is great work by Sean. This is intelligent play because he's driving to the net. Calgary gets a shot, Hevener gets a shot from outside, but you want to make sure you've got a presence around the crease for rebounds. He picks up the rebound and is able to do a nice little reverse to drop it into the net on Disher.
4-2, Calgary having a lead of 2 goals early in the game. Adler for Calgary has the ball in front of the penalty box area. One-on-one move, comes in across the line, he stops. Goes across for Koleski. Tracy looking for a lane. Tracy has the ball, and we have a violation away from the ball. It turns over to Minnesota. Swarm coming up, big Mike Kilby with the ball. Gives it up for Stewart. Stewart directing the attack. Into the corner for Ward. He comes back out, waits for something to break. Shot clock is at 13, goes across the floor. There's a shot that whistles wide. Stewart picks up the rebound. Stewart can't get the shot away. It rolls off the end of his stick. The ball is loose beside the net and picked up by McBride for Calgary.
That offensive series is really indicative of a lot of Minnesota's problems. They just can't get in sync as a 5-man unit. And when they do find a look, they're throwing balls off the end of the stick. They're taking shots that are ending up in the corner.
Calgary taking advantage. Ratcliffe ball whistles behind him. We have a violation away from the ball. Turns over to Minnesota. Long quick pass ahead for Beers. He has some real estate, running it on goal and scores. Through the 5-hole of Leishon. Calgary caught on a change, and Minnesota, the Swarm, take advantage.
Yeah, well, Andrew Beers, one of the guys we talked about as one of our focus in the pregame. This is a transition go. He's got good speed. Disher gets him the ball up. Calgary slow on the change. And also, it's one thing to be a good runner, but also to have finish, and Andrew has that.
Ball loose in the center circle. Miashta has it for the Minnesota Swarm. It's 4-3 Calgary. Minnesota on offense. Kilby with the ball. He's one of their tough guys. For Pollock. Pollock goes middle of the floor. Martin has it. In the corner, back out on top for Stewart. Stewart looks for a lane, lofts a shot, goes to the side of the net now. It's in front. Bears takes a shot, and that's knocked down, ends up behind the net. And it's picked up by Calgary. Sadler off and running as Calgary goes for a change. Boundary comes across, stops, waits for traffic to catch up. His pass to the middle of the floor is knocked down, trying to hit Koleski, and Minnesota picks up the ball. They lose the handle on it. There's a scramble. Calgary regains it. Ratcliffe with the ball. Ratcliffe feeds to a trailing Toth. His bounce shot goes wide of the net. Big rebound off the end boards. Boundary has it. Fires in front. They score! Schattler with the nice work by Calgary. Schattler right on the spot. Good hustle goal by the Necks.
Another nice goal. This is what we're talking about with Schattler having finish around the net, having touch around the net. So Calgary works hard to generate a turnover here after a shot. They get the ball, move it down to Schattler, and he doesn't make a mistake with a nice far side, short side goal.
So Calgary reassumes the lead, adds to a 2-goal lead. Molesky closing in the goal. Shot a save by Disher with the pads. Big rebound picked up by the Swarm. They'll come back with it. Ashley with the ball. Middle of the floor, giving it up for Ward. Molesky pick up an assist on the goal. Just over a minute remaining in the opening quarter. Martin looks for a lane. He's pushed away by Devin Ray. Still has the ball on top for Ward. Ward, their top scorer, fires an unobstructed shot. Knocked down by Leishon, and Calgary picks it up. The veteran Ogilvie scoops it up for the Roughnecks. Under a minute to go. Gives it up for Sean Cable. Cable for Calgary, plays it in the corner for Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe cradling the ball. Runs towards the middle of the floor, reverses his field. Goes across for Koleski, who returns it right back to Ratcliffe, too far. Ball bounces behind the net. There's a scramble for it. Caleb Toth pushing for it. I think the ball is going to go over to Minnesota. They say that Calgary violated and pushed the goaltender, and that's the reason for the turnover.
That's right. Well, let's see what...
Minnesota's called a timeout here, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Minnesota has a timeout, so good strategy here with 25 seconds left on the shot clock here, or 25 seconds left on the clock. They'll have a full 30 seconds on the shot clock, so Minnesota can pull their goalie here, go with 6 men up there, and make sure they get the last shot of this quarter.
They gather. There's Chris Hall, Calgary's coach. They, the Swarm, gather around Dwayne Jacobs, his first year as head coach, 2 years as an assistant in Buffalo. Jacobs runs a one-man law office in LaSalle, Ontario, just outside of Windsor. So when he needs time off to coach the team or work on team events, you know what? Those conversations are pretty short.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The one-man law office means that he's a pretty busy guy, I think, and being the head coach of an NLL team is a full-time job.
You bet. So time is whistled back in. Minnesota will play for 1. It's 5-3 Calgary. Ward walks it up slowly. Now stops. Now picks it back up. Clock is at 6. They move. Hall has the ball. Spins away from a check by McBride. He's bothered against the board. He's unable to get it away. They call a timeout and nothing happened. And Calgary holds them not only to no goals, but no shots whatsoever.
Well, that simply is not what you want with execution. You have to be able to get a shot in that situation.
All right, 1 quarter in the books. Calgary 5, the Minnesota Swarm 3. This is McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks lacrosse on Shaw.
TextForCars.com, the modern way of buying and selling cars. Our online service allows you to instantly send and receive a text message for the vehicle you're buying or selling. Plus, you list your car for free. Join the revolution. TextForCars.com.
7 acres of Shakers, Calgary's newest family fun center. More challenge, more adventure, and definitely more fun for everyone. Take a tour on our 3D website. You'll see Shakers, Calgary's newest action-packed entertainment for everyone.
Strauss Herb Company presents Strauss Garlic Extract, a natural health product used to help maintain cardiovascular health. Available at health product retailers across Canada.
Shaw TV has 6 exciting McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks games this season. You can catch intense Roughnecks action as they battle their way through the NLL in pursuit of the championship. The road to victory will be full of hard hits and tough opponents. Be part of the raging crowds as they stand up against top teams throughout the league. Tune in for 6 games of McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks. The next game is February 10th when Philadelphia is in Calgary. Only on Shaw TV.
5-3, Calgary with the lead, and John, the difference, 2 goals by Sean Cable.
That's right, 2 goals by Sean. So Sean, we would consider him chipping in on the secondary scoring front, but he's making a real case for himself. Here's his first goal, picks up a nice feed from Toth and finds the back of the net, and here he just drives to the net, picks up some garbage, a loose ball around the crease with a nice little reverse to tuck that in. Excellent start for Sean.
And the shots on goal are sitting at 10 each, but the score, Calgary 5 and Minnesota Swarm 3. The ball is loose off the opening faceoff. Schattler scoots in, picks it up for Calgary. Now reverses field, turns and heads up the floor. Some opening quarter stats, 10-10, the shots on goal, 1 of 3. Minnesota power plays. Calgary yet to play with the man advantage. Saturday night from the Pengrowth Saddledome. Sure glad you're with us this evening. Calgary Roughnecks lacrosse. Krzyzewski with the ball, given up in the corner for Ratcliffe. Turnaround shot, knocked down and smothered by Disher, the goaltender. He picks it up, goes long for Boyle. Boyle across the line for Minnesota. Little guy moves to a trailer. Ward stops and goes way out high for Martin. Spencer Martin for the Minnesota Wild. Plays it into the corner. Shot clock is at 6. Minnesota struggling to get anything going. Martin high in the slide. His shot knocked down by Leishon and gathered in.
Well, everything is just outside from Minnesota right now. Offensively, they can't get any penetration. They can't get any work in tight on the crease. And if they want to be successful, they've got to find a way to do that.
Here come the Wild. Kemp is in full stride. His pass goes astray. It's loose in the corner, picked up by Ogilvie for Calgary. He absorbs a hit from Pollock, bounces off of that, and Calgary gets things going. Chapler ahead for Nolan Hevener, the former Swarm player, across the line. He backs it up in the corner. Wait for Calgary to get personnel on the floor. Tatum Toth has it on top for Koleski. Casey goes for Radcliffe. He makes a for Koleski. He stops back out on top for Koleski. He closes in. There's a shot deflected into the end. Denning. Ball goes to Minnesota.
As we saw Tracy take that shot there, we'll refer back to Kemp's words when he said one of his job is to lock off on some of the Calgary players, and I'm sure one of those guys is Koleski. So we'll see if he has any success there.
I'm betting Stewart feathers a shot towards the goal. It goes wide, picks up his own rebound. Plays it back. Ward has it. He plays it in front. Stewart backhand shot and scores. Nice goal. Over the shoulder backhand shot by Scott Stewart. 5-4 game.
This is a nice goal. What I like about this is that they're working, this is what's called off the ball. So they're working away from the ball. As the Minnesota player with the ball is busy with the defender, off the ball, Stewart comes and finds the pass and does an excellent reverse to find the far side.
So off the draw. Evan Ray has it. He draws a crowd. The ball bounces. It's a scramble for it. Shatler puts a stick in there, can't pick it up, rolls into the Calgary zone. Boyle has it. On top for Sullivan for Minnesota. Calgary leading 5-4 early second quarter. And goes Saddledome, National Lacrosse League play. Right in front, Pollock shoots, great save, Leishon. Andrew Leishon one-on-one. Had to come up with a dandy save, did just that.
Excellent save on Leishon. Just a breakdown on the defense by the Roughnecks. They left a Minnesota player wide open.
Calgary in the offensive zone. They have a 5-4 lead. Todd Ranger with the ball. Cuts off a pick. Looks to play pick and roll. Can't get it going. Instead gives it out for Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe drawing a crowd. He is double teamed. Turnaround shot. Bounces into the goaltender. Fisher's big rebound is knocked out, and back come the Minnesota Swarm. Yashta with the ball for Minnesota. His pass almost ends up in the Minnesota bench. Instead, Martin has it. 5-4 Calgary leading. Martin with a move. He stops. Now turns. Fires a shot. Leishon knocked it down. Didn't know where it was. It's loose behind the net. Stewart has the ball. Bothered by McNish. Minnesota goes out on top. In the middle for Martin. Martin being bothered by Ogilvie. He retreats. Minnesota 22 on the shot clock. There's a drive towards the net. Stewart loses his helmet. His pass in front goes astray. Loose ball. 15 on the shot clock, but it turns over to Calgary. With the ball in full flight, Cable can't hang on to it. Rolls off the end of his stick. Ball is loose in the Minnesota zone. Behind the play, we have a whistle, and I think Minnesota is going to pick up an infraction.
Yeah, we're going to get a chance here to see the first PP of the game for Calgary, as we had a slash sort of behind the play on Ogilvie after he had moved the ball.
Calgary's power play entering this game, 13 of 28, 46%. That's good.
Which is good. Pretty good. Not in the top 3, which is, I think, where they want to be. They'll be able to get there. They've got the right people on this, the right personnel.
Zaleski, Ratcliffe, Ranger, Toth, and Goundry, the personnel for Calgary in this power play. But they turn it over. Back come the Wild. Beers with the ball. His pass ends up with the stick of Sullivan. He cradles it across the line. Sullivan for Minnesota. Reverses field, killing some time. 1 minute, 35 seconds remaining in the man advantage situation for Calgary. Gill has the ball for Minnesota. So the clock is at 7.
Once again, common strategy for the penalized team. They'll just try to play a perimeter game, not worry about trying to press to the net and manage that 30-second clock.
Minnesota, the shot clock violation. Ball turns over to Calgary. Kelusky has the ball on top, 1:08 remaining in the man advantage. Calgary with the ball, goes in front to Kelusky. There's a shot knocked down, and back comes Minnesota. Beers with the ball, 2-man game. There's a shot, the ball is deflected into the corner. Beers can't pick the ball up, but it's gathered in by Cousins. He's killing some time, 45 seconds remaining. The Swarm with the ball, Cousins has it. 35 seconds remaining. Calgary on the power play. Minnesota trying to kill some time. 5-4 Calgary. Our clock is at 5. Minnesota across the line. Behrens with the ball. And we have a stoppage in play and a whistle. Ball will turn over. All right, this is McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks lacrosse on Shaw.
7 acres of Shakers, Calgary's newest family fun center. More challenge, more adventure, and definitely more fun for everyone. Take a tour on our 3D website. You'll see Shakers, Calgary's newest action-packed entertainment for everyone.
I've lost over 50 pounds and 52 inches. I want to live longer. I want to be happier. I've never felt better in my life.
Call Herbal Magic today and book your free consultation, 320-6466.
Looking for a pet that's just a little out of the ordinary? Petland has all your favorites that creep, crawl, and slither, not to mention all the expert advice and supplies you'll need to care for them. Petland. Pets make life better.
Streetside Development Corporation proudly presents Plaza at Royal Oak. This new condominium community features black Maytag appliances and a single attached garage. For more information, phone the sales center at 375-0606 or visit plaza-living.com.
McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks on Shaw. It is 5-4. The Roughnecks leading the Minnesota Swarm here in the second quarter. I'm joined by Andy Ogilvie. Andy, you're 42 years old, still playing lacrosse. What keeps you coming back?
Oh, just love for the game. I like to compete, you know. Nice contact games, good for you. Yeah.
You're known as a real physical fitness nut as well. Has that been the key to your longevity in the sport?
Yeah, I think that's the only reason I'm still playing is because I spend so much time in the gym, so I keep myself in pretty decent shape.
What about this game tonight against Minnesota, a team you don't see very often, but we've got a pretty close one here?
Well, they're a good, steady team. You know, there's no real weak links, so they're just continually grinding and grinding and grinding. So we can't really get a lead on them right now because they're not quitting. So I think we should take them. I think if we start running, we should take them.
All right, thanks, Andy. Good luck.
Okay, thanks.
Andy Ogilvie, Calgary Roughnecks, guys.
Thank you, Barry, and thank you to Andy. Minnesota Swarm will get the ball. A penalty to Lewis Ratcliffe coming up as well.
We do. We'll take a look at here. So I thought that the ref had let this go. This was, Calgary was on the penalty, or on the PP, but the Minnesota player drove to the net and Lewis got too wrapped up with them. So Calgary, after 10 seconds here, Calgary's going to be on the short man again.
There's a goal. Turnaround shot by Kelly Hall for Minnesota, evening things up at 5.
So that's unfortunate in a couple ways because there's still 6 seconds left on the Minnesota penalty. That's a 4-on-4 goal. So now they're going to really be able to get a chance to get some momentum here because they're going to come back here in 6 seconds with the PP.
Kelly Hall from the lacrosse hotbed of Victoria, BC. Well, yes, Minnesota will have the power play advantage coming up momentarily now for the next minute and 38 seconds. Minnesota with the ball. Disher out of the net to play it, giving it up for Talbot. Bounce into the Calgary zone to set things up. Minnesota on offense. Stewart loses the ball, goes and gets it in the corner. Stewart, the big customer, gives it out on top for Martin. 1:15 remaining, man advantage for Minnesota. There's a shot by Ward, saved. New 30-second clock.
Little help on the post with Leishon on that one.
Minnesota on offense. Ward with a shot again. Little post action, little collision with the post. Ball turns over to Minnesota.
Crease violation, so you can't, of course, once you have possession, you can't step back into the crease with the ball.
Ward for Minnesota plays a two-man game with Hall. Ward has it closing in. There's a shot and a goal. Power play goal for the Minnesota Swarm, and they have jumped into the lead.
They take the lead here, and that's what we're talking about, how unfortunate that 4-on-4 goal was. But Ryan Ward actually takes 3 shots here on the penalty, on the PP. Once hitting the post, once missing the net, and once going in. All 3 of them in that exact same spot. So Ward's really trying to find his range here.
Last year in the meeting involving these teams, he had 7 points, a goal, and 6 assists. So the sides are even, but the score is not. Minnesota has the 6-5 lead. Also leading in the shots on goal category, 19-12. They have gained all kinds of momentum, has Minnesota. Sullivan being bothered by Ogilvie. It's into the offensive zone. Minnesota goes across the floor. Stewart with the ball, makes a break for the net. Cut off, now turns, fires, and scores! Well. The Swarm are finding the net.
They are finding the net now, and that's now we see Scott Stewart's getting in here with an outside shot. So we talked about just their outside, offensively they've been sticking to the outside game, and that's good if you find the range, which they're having some success with here.
And I think we're going to have a goaltending change. Andrew Leishon is walking to the bench, and we are going to see Ryan Avery on the floor, as it's gone rather cool the last few times down for Leishon. So Chris Hall, I don't know if this is for the rest of the game or what's his sort of philosophy in this.
Well, Chris Hall won't be afraid to change up the goalies in order to try to get an emotional boost for his club. Right now, Calgary looks a little flat out there. I don't think there's very much pace to their game right now. There's not much creativity on the offense, so this may just be a move to help generate some interest by the rest of the club.
All right, a goaltending switch as Avery checks in goal, 24 years old from Hamilton, Ontario. Minnesota on the attack with the ball and a 7-5 lead. 2012, the shots on goal, shot and a save by Avery. Minnesota picks up the ball, crease violation, and Calgary gets the ball on the turnover. Here comes Calgary, Krzyzewski across the line. Krzyzewski stops, he is double teamed, now backs out. Krzyzewski holding, veers left, comes in on goal, gives it up for Toth. Toth being bothered, puts it right in front, Ranger shoots, and scores! Scott Ranger, Calgary gets some momentum back.
Real nice goal here by Scott. He was actually wide open in the middle here. Minnesota just couldn't find him. He was left wide open. I think he was worried he wasn't going to see the ball because he was there for 3 seconds. And then a nice far side, short side fake on Disher.
Well, he was all alone in front, turned and made the shot and the goal. 7-6 Minnesota. Hill has the lead. Evander is clobbered, knocked to the floor. The ball is loose right in front of the Minnesota bench. They bang away for it. Cousins for Minnesota picks it up. He comes free out of the pile, gives it up. There's a chance for Minnesota. Cousins can't get the handle on it. All is taken by Talbot. Gives it up for Behrens. His shot saved by Avery. They try to set it up in front. Ball is loose. Can't get the handle. And Evander picks it up for Calgary. Evander ahead for Sean Cable. Cable gives it up for McBride to his left. Right at the shooter spot, now backs out, 6:10 remaining in the second quarter. 7-6 Minnesota Swarm. Across the floor for Caleb Toth, back to the goal, behind the back pass, flicks it, it goes into the corner, picked up by Calgary. Chatler with it for Gillespie, shot clock is at 5, Gracie slips and falls, ball is loose, it's finally blowing down, 30-second shot clock violation on Calgary.
Yeah, 30 seconds. Couldn't get much going on that series. Unfortunately, it looked like Tracy just lost his footing there and wasn't able to get anything going with Caleb.
Minnesota's Spencer Martin has the ball, cuts off a pick, spins. Now with the ball, Pollock, a quick shot, knocked down. Avery in goal, and Calgary comes back. Molesky with the ball for Calgary. He passes off, side of the net. Front for Devin Ray, goes across the floor for Molesky, can't find the handle. It's loose in front of the Minnesota net and picked up. Back they come, charging ahead up the floor. Kemp for the Minnesota Swarm. They try to set up a play down the middle. That is broken up, and back comes Calgary. McBride runs it up the floor. McBride in the corner, 5:05 remaining in the second quarter. Granger gets possession of the ball for Calgary. Granger, a one-on-one move, they clear out for him. He bursts in towards the goal, spins around, knocked her third, and scores! What a great solo effort by Scott Ranger, tying this game up.
It's an excellent effort by Ranger, just making something out of nothing. He starts this off as a one-on-one play, finds himself unable to get a clean look, but just sticks with it as he sweeps under and then across the net, almost loses his footing. Thinks at this point, I think he's thinking just pull out, but then there's nothing left, no place to pull out to, so tries a desperation shot, and it goes in.
And a goaltending switch now for the Minnesota Swarm. Matt Disher gets the hook, and in comes Nick Patterson. So neither coach happy with a 7-7 score and 4:51 remaining in this, the second quarter. All right, ball loose in the center circle, out of his net to play it is Patterson. Or Minnesota, ball is loose, Krzyzewski, open net, fires, the ball is deflected wide. Puck comes off the end board, picked up by Nolan Hebner. Hebner for Calgary, stops Hebner in the corner. Or Krzyzewski, waits for players to come on the floor. Or Ratcliffe, Ratcliffe with a move, comes down, turns, fires, knocked out in front, loose ball picked up by Minnesota, and Martin is back for the Minnesota Swarm. 7-7 ball game. Minnesota changing on the move. Beaniel has it. He's isolated one-on-one. Plays it on top for Hall. Hall backs away, now cuts off a pick. Looks for something to happen. Shot clock is at 7. There's a shot by Ward, knocked down in front. Rebound. Another big save by Avery. Beers picked up the ball. Back comes Calgary. Molesky long pass up the floor for Devin Ray. Ray across the line. He fires across the floor. Unable to get the handle as Gowndry. He was bothered. Ball loose in the corner. 7-7 game. Devin Ray for Sean Cable, who has a pair of goals. Calgary on offense. Shot clock is at 9. Taylor Ray has the ball, cuts off a pick, plays pick and roll with Toth. He can't corral it. Ball bounces by the Calgary bench area. Cousins picks it up for the Minnesota Swarm. He absorbs a hit. The ball pops loose, and Beers has it for Minnesota. Penalty coming up to Calgary. And in the attacking zone, Boyle for the Swarm. The goalie is out. Minnesota extra man on with the penalty coming up. We have a whistle. We have a penalty coming up to Calgary. All right, we've got a wild one going. 7-7 at the Pengrowth Saddledome. This is McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks lacrosse on Shaw.
TextForCars.com, the modern way of buying and selling cars. Our online service allows you to instantly send and receive a text message for the vehicle you're buying or selling. Plus, you list your car for free. Join the revolution. TextForCars.com.
7 acres of Shakers, Calgary's newest family fun center. More challenge, more adventure, and definitely more fun for everyone. Take a tour on our 3D website. You'll see Shakers, Calgary's newest action-packed entertainment for everyone.
Strauss Herb Company presents Strauss Garlic Extract, a natural health product used to help maintain cardiovascular health. Available at health product retailers across Canada.
Power refined, luxury reinvented, the Acura TL. A landmark combination of innovative technology and high performance. Northwest Acura, 125 Crowfoot Way, Northwest.
Welcome back to the Pengrove Saddle Dome. It is 7-7 Calgary and Minnesota here late in the second quarter. I am joined by one of the Roughnecks' #1 fans, Scott Coe, linebacker of the Calgary Stampeders. Scott, you come to every game, you're telling me.
Absolutely, I don't miss them. These guys are great. You know, there's bigger hits here than half the other sports around, so it's fun to watch.
Any similarities out on the floor between lacrosse and football?
Got to have good feet, that's for sure. You know, if you want to make a tackle or keep these guys in front of you, you know, everybody's got good feet out here.
You think you'd ever be convinced to get out there?
I'd love to get out and play, but I don't think the Stamps would agree.
All right, enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you, will do.
Scott Coe of the Calgary Stampeders, guys.
Well, he certainly has a defensive player's mentality, both in football and I would say lacrosse, if he ever picked up the stick. A 5-minute penalty coming up here. What's the deal there, John?
Yeah, 5-minute penalty here if we can catch it. So Gowndry comes in with a high stick there, and this year this is a rule change. They've taken the discretionary call out of it. If you cross-check in the head, automatic major, 5-minute penalty.
Minnesota with the shots on goal in this quarter at 15-6. They're on the attack. Hall has the ball. On top for Ward, side of the net, the hill. It's loose. He can't get the shot away. And Ogilvie picks it up for Calgary. McBride at center. There's the pass. Colsey gonna go, shoots, he scores! Lewis Ratcliffe, another short-handed Calgary goal. Minnesota hot napping.
Out of your power play, you want to be able to generate offense but not be a liability on the floor. Great transition pass up to Ratcliffe, and he just sweeps across the front of the net to create some space for him, and he finds the far side.
So Calgary takes the lead 8-7. They still have substantial time to kill in this penalty. Ball loose on the floor. Ogilvie picks it up for Calgary. He loses it. Now Shatler gets it for Devin Ray. Andrew McBride for Ratcliffe, who hands to Caleb Toth. Toth for Calgary. They have 4 minutes to kill, so obviously the penalty will carry over to the second half. Tracy Koleski plays the side of the net to Shatler. There's a shot and a save. Shatler picks up his own rebound. Koleski gives it up for Ratcliffe.
Nice feed there. We call that a swing pass. He skipped that down to Shatler. If he could have maybe just one-touched that real quick without the backhand, I think he might have got that in.
Tell you what, hard to know right now who's on the power play. Calgary's had their hands and sticks on the ball. They've controlled. Ratcliffe for Toth. Toth looks to shoot. That's cut off behind the back pass to Koleski. Shoots and scores! Another shorthanded goal. Calgary up 9-7.
Well, this is simply just not what you want to see from your power play. This is unbelievable. Calgary's short man, they've got their 4 guys on the floor here. They're able to crowd and press on Minnesota's 5. We get a nice little touch there from Koleski, and Koleski finds the top corner, and he tucked that in tight. I don't think you can get any tighter than that.
Kavanagh picks up the ball off the draw for Calgary. And again, Calgary is a man down. Well, a few minutes ago, I made reference to the Minnesota team as the Minnesota Wild. I may have been a step ahead of myself. I would think their coach is going to go wild at halftime with all of these short-handed goals. That's just not cutting it.
Yeah, he will not like that. Your power play is supposed to generate momentum for you, not lose momentum.
In front, Toth can't get the handle. Ball is picked up by Minnesota. The Swarm come back. Long pass for Boyle. It's too far, and they're getting absolutely nothing going. 9-7 Calgary. Back in his own zone, McBride with the ball. McBride for Calgary for Lewis Ratcliffe. Across the floor at center for Taylor Ray. Ray for Calgary. For Ratcliffe. Shot clock is at 13. Lewis makes a move, cuts towards the goal. Now stop double team, goes back out on top. Krzyzewski can't find the handle. Ball is loose, and back comes Minnesota. Andrew Beers for Minnesota makes a move near the center circle. Gives it for Spencer Martin. 14 seconds left in the half. 9-7 Calgary. Minnesota now plays with the extra attacker. Pulling the goalie, 4 seconds remain. There's a shot. Can't get through, no penetration. Loose in the corner, and that'll do it to end the opening half of this ball game. A lot of wild swings of momentum. Both teams switched up their goaltenders. It's been a crazy half. Look forward to more in the second half. And we're going to go to halftime because right now, 9-7 Calgary. It's McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks lacrosse on Shaw.
Are you looking for a dealership that can cut the mustard? For over 10 years, Northland Pontiac Buick GMC has delivered award-winning vehicles at affordable prices. That's Northland Pontiac Buick GMC, next to Northland Mall.
Northland custom mustard every time. Yeah!
7 acres of Shakers, Calgary's newest family fun center. More challenge, more adventure, and definitely more fun for everyone. Take a tour on our 3D website. You'll see Shakers, Calgary's newest action-packed entertainment for everyone.
Southland Leisure and Village Square Leisure Centers offer Calgarians a wide range of recreation opportunities. From over 40 different attractions and amenities, including water parks and drop-in fitness classes, there's something for everyone. Keep you and your family active and having fun at a City of Calgary Recreation Leisure Center.
Streetside Development Corporation proudly presents Plaza at Royal Oak. This new condominium community features black Maytag appliances and a single attached garage. For more information, phone the sales center at 375-0606 or visit plaza-living.com.
Welcome back to the Pengrowth Saddledome. 9-7. The Calgary Roughnecks lead the Minnesota Swarm here after 30 minutes of play. You know, the Roughnecks have a huge advantage over a lot of teams in the National Lacrosse League. At least 14 of their players live in Calgary full-time during the lacrosse season. And one of those players is Sean Cable, who has a couple of goals here tonight. And when Cable is not busy playing lacrosse, he has his hands full at a local restaurant. We have more in our player profile.
13 Calgary with the lead, closes their goal, they score! Sean Cable finds the net.
Good evening, Rose West Hills. Basically, I'm the night leader, it's called, so it's basically the night manager. No, don't include Adam, so just put Ryan just in a 3-table section in here somewhere. No, it's probably better that Savannah stays there. But there are people that sort of are into lacrosse and sort of recognize that I do play. How are you, buddy? Good, Sean. Good, good. You came on a good day here, you know? I see that. Hey, act professional, Ray. Nothing usual, all right? I really like the industry. I mean, it's great to be in a place where you get to interact with people all the time. The customers are great. We're in a great area of the city where we have some really great customers that come in, and so dealing with the people, and then it's great, you know, the staff and stuff is awesome too. Keeping it clean back here, I see. I'm in the dishwasher right now. I don't understand. Like, why do you have to make girls look like a dump back here, you know? Like, you're on TV right now, and you're making them look like a dump.
I'm gonna probably hit you. Yes, that's right.
I would like for that to happen. The support staff is here and stuff, so it gives me that availability to be able to go and participate in the Roughnecks thing. I like working in this industry, so maybe running my own restaurant one day would be down the road or something, but get the experience of having this position right now would be, you know, it's a good experience, so that's it.
If you've checked out a Calgary Roughnecks game before, you have noticed that it is a very physical sport, and some of the gutsiest players out on the floor are the goaltenders who face dozens and dozens of hard shots every night. Shaw TV's Aaron Strait takes a look at what it takes to get these goaltenders ready to go out on the floor.
When you're
I'm watching a lacrosse game from up here in the stands, all I can think about is, man, those goalies look huge. So why is it? Do they just look big because the nets are so small? Or is it because they only recruit giants to play goal in the National Lacrosse League? Or is it the equipment they have on underneath? Let's go find out. We're here with Andrew Lachon of the Calgary Roughnecks. He's a goalie. And Andrew, when we're watching you on TV and out on the field, you guys look ginormous out there. You look huge. So do guys just have to be big guys to be goalies in lacrosse, or is it about what you wear?
Not at all. Goalies come in all shapes and sizes, just like hockey and other sports like that. It's mostly just the equipment. I know people and fans say we look like sumo wrestlers out there, but we're not all big guys like that. We come in all different sizes. It's just kind of bulky equipment because that ball is pretty hard, so you need to be padded. It starts out at the bottom. We have the leg pads that are made out of hard plastic. They're kind of like baseball catcher leg pads. Then we have hockey goalie pants, a jock of course, and then just big shoulder pads, hockey gloves, and a helmet.
Although it takes Andrew only a few minutes to get geared up, he has to make sure he is thorough as he will face a high number of shots in a nightly contest. The average number of shots an NLL goalie will face one night between the pipes is around 100. And no matter how much equipment they put on, you've got to expect that once in a while, that shot's got to hurt.
Well, our equipment's pretty good, so usually it doesn't hurt that much, but you get the odd bruise now and then, and if you get a spot with no padding, then it does hurt.
And Andrew is right. Just like most sports, goalies in lacrosse do come in all shapes and sizes. And although they look like they must be genetically enhanced to strap on a pair of goalie pads, the average size and height of the netminders are about 6'1" and 200 pounds. Definitely not even close to the measurements of the average sumo wrestler.
You know, despite all of the equipment the goaltenders wear, you still have to be very courageous to play that position in this sport. That ball comes at you very quickly, and it is a very hard ball if you've never played lacrosse, and it definitely would hurt if it hits you. 9-7, the Calgary Roughnecks leading the Minnesota Swarm after 30 minutes of play here at the Pengrove Saddledome tonight. Of course, the Roughnecks going for their third straight win after they started the season with the loss. Minnesota entering this game at 1-2, and they got beat pretty badly their last time out, so you can imagine they are hungry for a win tonight as well. Now, with their thoughts on the opening 30 minutes, let's go up to the broadcast booth and join up with John and Mark.
Well, thank you, Barry. And one of the stories is goaltending. Speaking of goaltenders, we'll get to that in a moment. But John, Chris Hall in the Calgary dressing room, I'm sure he has a few questions about the way things went in the opening half. But on the basis of their special teams, they have a lead and they look to have the momentum.
They do. I think they do have the momentum right now. But, you know, every coach has in their mind an absolute level of play, an optimum level of play that they want to achieve, not a relative level of play that that you always hear while we're playing down to their level. And I think that Chris Paul is probably making a case that right now Calgary's playing down to the level of Minnesota.
And Minnesota struggling mightily. They've given up 3 shorthanded goals. As we said earlier, that's a pretty good season's work in some seasons. Calgary's done it in a half, and they're really clicking shorthanded. One oddity, I mentioned goaltenders. Both teams chased their starting goaltenders out of the net. Your thoughts on the move on both sides? Was it poor play, momentum change? What's your take?
You don't see that very often, especially with the score so low right now. I mean, we haven't even cracked into double digits for either team, but I think on both sides, you know, the coaches probably felt like, particularly on Calgary's side, probably felt like, you know, the team needed a boost here. So a lot of times you make the goaltending change just to give a psychological wake-up call to the rest of the bench, and I think that's probably where Chris Hall was coming down. And on the Minnesota side, you know, what I saw out there was a lot of rebounds coming out from Disher. He has a tendency to explode out from a save, which kicks the ball out, and I don't think that you know, the Colorado or the Minnesota head coach liked that.
Well, the reality is they got touched up for 22 goals a week ago, so their coach probably wasn't going to wait a lot of time to see if things were going to evolve for his goaltenders. So it is an odd game for sure. Do you envision, let's talk specifically about Calgary, will they go back to the starting goaltender? Will we see Lachon? Is that kind of Chris Hall style?
You know, normally I would have said yes. I think that Chris would probably go back with Leishon, but right now Avery's actually made some very excellent stops in there so far with the time he's had. He's been committed on the plays, he's followed plays through, made great second effort saves. So if they're rolling like that, Chris Hall has a tendency to just stick with the hot hand, and if he's looking good, he'll keep him there. On the other side, we've got Patterson in now, who's played the bulk of the minutes for Minnesota. Prior to tonight's game, he was 9 out of 12 quarters.
Right.
And so I don't think we're going to see a switch back to Disher. Patterson is an excellent player.
All right, we'll take a look at some of the things that made it click in the opening half.
Yeah, as we take a look at the highlight package here, all goals. We'll see Sean Cable's goal here. First one of the night for him. Excellent feed as he cuts through and sees the net. Minnesota can't get anything inside, so they're just trying to generate some stuff outside. There we see a goal. There we see Sean Cable's second goal. Picks up a loose ball. Once again, Minnesota outside. Just try to get the sticks going from outside and see if something will go in for them. That one lands for them. Here's a great goal coming up here coming up with Calgary. Scott Ranger, just a single effort. Almost loses his footing there, managed to stay on his feet. Can't get out, so just throws it on net and drops it in. And then lastly here, this is a nice little two-man game between Toth and Koleski tucks that top shelf.
Well, that's why Calgary has the lead at 9-7, but they're being outshot 25-19. Minnesota 2 of 5 on the power play, but very deceiving. They've given up 3 shorthanded goals. Calgary 0 of 1 on the power play, but that's irrelevant because of their success shorthanded. All even in the face-off circle. Calgary 39-35 on the loose ball front. Saturday night from the Penn Growth Saddledome, the National Lacrosse League. This is McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks Lacrosse on Shaw.
The family car finally grows up with the ingeniously designed 7-passenger Saturn Relay. A vehicle that will make any family feel safe. Crowfoot Saturn Saab, Crowfoot Center Northwest. People first.
Streetside Development Corporation proudly presents Plaza at Royal Oak. This new condominium community features black Maytag appliances and a single attached garage. For more information, phone the sales center at 375-0606 or visit plaza-living.com.
TextForCars.com, the modern way of buying and selling cars. Our online service allows you to instantly send and receive a text message for the vehicle you're buying or selling. Plus, you list your car for free. Join the revolution. TextForCars.com.
Don't miss your Calgary Flames when they leave town. Shaw TV and the Calgary Flames want to send you on a road trip to see the team play the Vancouver Canucks at GM Place in BC. This hot prize includes airfare for 2, one-night hotel accommodation, tickets to the game, and $300 spending money. Order the Flames on Shaw pay-per-view for your chance to be automatically entered. Or log on to start.shaw.ca under local content Calgary for details on how you can fly to see the Calgary Flames in Vancouver.
Calgary Roughnecks gathering around goaltender Ryan Avery, who remains in the game, 24 years old, from Hamilton, acquired from Buffalo in the offseason for a first-round draft choice. So they gave up something for him, and now they're getting a look at him.
Yeah, as we look on the screen here at the head coach of Dwayne Jacobs, the head coach for Minnesota, I think, you know, this is his first full season with Minnesota. Minnesota's had 3 head coaches in the past 3 years. What he's really looking to do is try to establish consistency with his systems. You know, there's a learning curve here that their players have to learn about, and hopefully he'll remain in this position and Minnesota can establish that consistency. On the other side, we have Chris Hall, of course, who's been the one and only head coach of the Calgary Roughnecks since their inception. in 2001. So their systems, their brand of lacrosse is infused in the mind of the veterans on this club. So when they bring in a piece here and there, a player here and there, it's easier to integrate that person into the systems.
As I mentioned, every single game the Calgary Roughnecks have ever played, Chris Hall has been the coach, 56 years old. Off the opening draw, Minnesota gets the ball. Minnesota will have the advantage. Manpower advantage. 1 minute, 46 seconds remaining in Calgary's penalty. But again, Calgary had a pair of shorthanded goals late in that opening half. Stewart with the ball for Minnesota in the shooter spot. His catch goes behind the net. Ball comes. There's a shot. Knocked down by Avery. Got the stick hand up. At the center of the floor, McBride has it. He's in full stride for Calgary. Closing in a goal shot. And a save. Steered away by Patterson. 1 minute, 18 seconds remaining. Calgary looking to get a hold of the ball, but Minnesota scoops up the loose ball in front of the net. And in front of the bench area. Sullivan goes down, gives it up for Kilby. Minnesota, 1:05 remaining in their manpower advantage. Ward, a long bouncing shot in.
So we got a delayed penalty coming up here, Mark. So that's why Minnesota didn't bother to get their 5-man unit out there. Instead, they shoot the ball right away so that they can get as much time on the clock. Yeah, for the 2-man advantage here. So they'll be looking at a 5-on-3. Here's the highlight. McBride just holding on as he's trying to catch the Minnesota player, an obvious call.
So Minnesota has a 2-man advantage for the next 53 seconds. Ward, it's a return pass. Ward behind the back pass. They'll go across the floor trying to crush it down. Saved by Avery on the quick shot. On top for Beers. Now back again. He plays on the point for Ward. Ward goes across the floor. There, the shot ball goes wide. Behind the net, Stewart bangs for it, absorbs a hit, and picks it up. 28 seconds of the 2-man advantage. Ward with the ball behind the back pass. There's a shot from a sharp angle. They score. Martin for Minnesota.
Nice goal here. A couple things happening here on the PP. When it's 2-man advantage, generally you'll pull the top guy out and just have him shag loose balls off a shot. So that's why it looks like it's only a 4-on-3. And on the goal, just a nice backhand pass down to the crease, and he finds the short side.
9-8, and Minnesota will have the man advantage again for another 23 seconds. 9-8, the Roughnecks and the Swarms from the Pengrowth Saddledome. Glad to have you aboard tonight on Shaw. Roughnecks hoping to improve to 3-1. Minnesota 1-2 entering the game. And a face-off violation. Calgary gets the ball. Calgary a man down for the next 15 seconds. Lusky in front of the bench plays it for Caleb Toth. Both in the corner now, backs out. Way up high for Sean Cable. And Calgary will be back to full strength as Gowndry's back on the floor. Gowndry joins the play. Calgary, the shot clock is at 6. They go across for Ratcliffe. He makes a man miss, fires the ball. Big save. And the ball is a crease violation. And Minnesota turns the ball over to Calgary. 9-8, just underway, second half. Calgary nursing that 1-goal lead. Gillespie with the ball, bobs and weaves, loses the handle, picks it back up. 28-21, shots on goal, Minnesota. Cross-floor passes, broken up. Here comes Minnesota, developing 2-on-1. Kemp with the ball, closing in, now gives to a trailer. Shot by Boyle, big save, Avery. Ball loose on the floor in front of the net. It rolls towards the penalty box area. Minnesota, Beers picks it up for the Swarm. Beers cradles the ball, waits for traffic to catch up. Gives it for Martin. Martin, whose helmet barely contains an enormous head of hair. Around the left for Pollock. Pollock dancing, isolated 1-on-1, closing in on goal, loses the handle. Ball is loose, Ogilvy picks it up for Calgary. The great veteran gives it up for Sean Cable. Cable runs down the floor, ahead for Shatler, who comes into the offensive zone. Shatler for Calgary. Calgary holding that 9-8 lead. They give the ball for Kluski, burst of speed, closing in on goal. A shot and a goal! Did Cable get a stick on it? Now Minnesota's arguing about what the call was. Did Cable jostle the net? Here's a decision for the official. Did Cable touch it, or did he jostle the net here, John?
Yeah, I think that, I couldn't tell from my angle, but it looked to me like Cable got that ball. He got a piece of it in his stick and just quick sticked it into the net. But they're conferring with the goal judge, and just to make sure. And we'll see what we have here. So the goal judge, I believe, thinks it.
No.
There we go, no goal.
So it's no goal. And I'm not sure what Chris Hall is arguing. Clearly he wants it to be a goal. He's up on the bench hollering.
So you take a second look at it, and Cable did get that in his stick, so really nice feed from Koleski, really nice touch by Cable. Unfortunately, it was just outside.
All right, that's the call. It was outside the net. So it remains 9-8, the Calgary Roughnecks. There's a tie up in the corner. Koleski trying to get free. Now McBride comes in for Calgary to help out. Off the ball interference, and Calgary comes back. Kari Krzyzewski carries the ball for Calgary. Reinforcements on the floor for the Roughnecks. Krzyzewski spins away from a check, in across the line. Gives it up for Ratcliffe. He fires a shot. Big save by Patterson. Ball loose behind the net, and it turns over on an off-ball violation to the Swarm. Andrew Beers from Calgary. Hands the ball in the center circle. Brought in across the line by Ward. Ward cuts off a pick, can't find a lane to shoot, gives it up on a pass. There's a shot by Martin, knocked down by Avery. And Avery passes it ahead for Ogilvie. Or Krzyzewski. Krzyzewski across the line. Krzyzewski stopping, plays in the middle. There's a bouncing shot by Koleski. Big rebound off the end boards. And they tie up for it at the line. A collision for it. It comes free, and it's picked up by Minnesota. Ahead for Pacey. He can't find the handle. Finally does. Bothered by Ray, who strips the ball. It's loose on the floor. They bang away for it. Nolan Hebner has it for Calgary. Crowd of 11,462 taking in festivities at the Pengrowth Saddle Dome tonight. There's a pass in front. The ball is controlled by Calgary. Rattler can't handle the ball. In the corner it goes for Calgary. Ratcliffe with 12 on the shot clock. Turns, fires. It's the goaltender Patterson in the mask. Loose ball picked up by Minnesota. Yashta brings it across for the Swarm. Yashta feeds to a trailer. There's a shot by Martin, high and wide off the end boards. Calgary picks up the rebound, and back comes Koleski. There's a pass in the center circle to McBride. Possible 3-on-2 for Calgary. McBride dancing, now stops. McBride playing it into the corner for Morleski. Kyle Goundry, he squeezes through two defenders. Kyle Goundry with the ball, dancing. On top for Koleski. Koleski has the ball knocked away by Kilby, goes to the corner to reclaim it. Behind the net is Tracy Koleski. Play clock is at 1. The whistle goes, and a 30-second shot clock violation assessed on Calgary. 9-8 Calgary over the Minnesota Swarm. This is McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks Lacrosse on Shaw.
Southland Leisure and Village Square Leisure Centers offer Calgarians a wide range of recreation opportunities. From over 40 different attractions and amenities, including water parks and drop-in fitness classes, there's something for everyone. Keep you and your family active and having fun at a City of Calgary Recreation Leisure Center.
Whichever your preference, with so many downtown spots to shop at, you're sure to find something to please everyone, even yourself. Find your D-Spot.
From this to this. The difference is a discrete personal hearing device prescribed by Leishman Hearing Center. See the registered professionals of our hearing healthcare team and understand the secrets of digital hearing system technology.
Hyatt Saturn Saab in the Calgary Auto Mall.
9-8, the Calgary Roughnecks lead the Minnesota Swarm here in the third quarter. I'm joined by Sean Cable, who is very close to getting a hat-trick goal. But, Sean, you just told me a minute ago that ball did not go in the net, did it?
No, I think it went on the outside, but, you got to try and sell it as best you can. There's no video replay here, so, you got to try.
Especially when it's for a hat-trick goal, right?
Yeah, and, a big one in the game, right? That would be up by 2. That means a lot, not just for me, for the team.
3 shorthanded goals for the team last week against Colorado, another 3 tonight, and we're barely just past the halfway mark. Why have you been so successful a man down?
I don't know. I just think that we're all on the same page as far as the plays that we want to run, and we're having some success. We got some good finishers up there when they get their opportunities.
Thanks, Sean. Good luck the rest of the game.
Thanks a lot.
Sean Cable, who, as you saw in our player profile earlier, is a restaurant manager right here in Calgary, guys.
Well, Barry, you can tell, Sean, we have video replay, and that was no goal.
Yeah.
Although he tried to sell it, and it happened bang, bang. The officials got it right.
He did. The officials did get it right. He did try to sell that, though. But the great thing about that play is that Koleski got that ball to him, and Sean got a hold of that and quick stick that real nice, got a piece of it. So maybe he'll drop one here in the third quarter.
The Swarm down by 1. They have the ball. On top for Ward, their top scorer. He dances. Now Veers left. Stops. He's being bothered by the Roughnecks. Taylor Ray harassing him. Shot clock is at 7. Minnesota still way outside. There's a shot. There's a glove save. Knocked away by Calgary goaltender Ryan Avery, who came in relief. The starter, Andrew Lechon. Ball is loose. Taylor Ray falls on it.
We're going to have a penalty here against Calgary. It looks like Taylor Ray's going off for roughing. I mistake Minnesota. Minnesota off for roughing. So we'll get another look here at Calgary's PP.
9-8, Kelly Hall goes off. Graduate of Whittier College in California. Almost halfway through the third quarter, Calgary over the Minnesota Swarm, 9-8. Tracy Koleski running the power play from the point. He has the ball, give it up for Lewis Ratcliffe. Calgary loses the handle. Ratcliffe can't find it. There's a collision by the penalty box area. Loose on the floor, finally picked up by Ratcliffe. Can't find the handle. Some good defense by Beers, harassing him for the Swarm. Koleski at the top, throws a pass over the head of Goundry. Ball off the end boards. Ratcliffe quick shot, but a 30-second shot clock violation assessed on Calgary.
Yeah, not much going on that PP. I think they'll want to settle down a little bit. They tried to run, or Minnesota put some good pressure on board side on the ball, and Calgary couldn't find the handle.
So Minnesota down a man for the next minute and 22 seconds. They have the ball in the Calgary zone. Beards with the ball. He absorbs a hit from Ogilvie. Still has possession. Now the ball is stripped. He goes back and get it. Retreating. Flicks the ball into the Calgary bench area. It's loose in front, and we have a collision. An off-ball violation. Ball turns over to the Roughnecks.
So we'll see if Calgary can settle their PP down here and maybe execute a predetermined play.
On top, Tracy Koleski running the show for Calgary, directing it from the point. Gives it up for Ratcliffe. Again for Ratcliffe, comes up to the point. Lays down for Goundry. His turnaround shot whistles wide of the net. Koleski picks up the big rebound. 44 seconds in the man advantage situation. Here's Toth with a shot. High, hard, and wide. Off the end board, picked up by Ratcliffe and Calgary. A shot clock violation, 30 seconds. So again on that offensive foray, not much happening, John.
No, there wasn't. But you know what? They're on that PP. They actually tried to run the same play that they ran the first time without any success. But at least that time, Goundry did get a look, but he floated it about 1.5 feet wide of the net.
Minnesota, 27 seconds to kill in their man-down situation. 9-8, Calgary over the Swarm. Martin dancing in the corner with the ball. He retreats. One-on-one move. Now comes down the middle. Don't know if he was passing or shooting. Instead did nothing except turn the ball over. And Shatler has it for Calgary. Last advance for Calgary with the man advantage. Ratcliffe brings the ball across the line. Ratcliffe stops. On top for Toth. Give it up for Ranger. Loses the handle. Picks it up. Ranger has the ball. Both teams at even strength. Pass across the floor for Ratcliffe too far. It rolls in the corner. And Minnesota picks it up. Kept with the ball. There's a collision, and we have a penalty coming up against Calgary. Beers with it as Minnesota sends on reinforcements. We'll see what the penalty is here. Beers for Minnesota. For Stewart. 6 runners on the floor for the Swarm. Here with the ball on top, give it up for Stewart. He closes in, there's a shot, knocked down, rebound by Behrens. It is steered away. Ball is loose in the corner. Minnesota picks it up. They've got the extra man on. There's the side of the net. They score!
Well, that's excellent. Excellent execution by Minnesota on this delayed penalty. This is exactly what you want. You want to be able to slow the play down when there's a penalty, pull your goalie, get your 6-man on there and generate a shot. Not only did they generate a shot, but they generated a second 30 on a delayed penalty and ultimately put the ball in the back of the net.
Burns scores to even the game. 9 Roughnecks, 9 Swarm.
So Calgary's still going to have to put Ranger in the box here. As you see, he came across high on the Minnesota man, catching him under the jaw. So he's been called for once again. Of course, it's in the head, so that's an automatic manger, 5 minutes.
Well, they've got to enforce them, and Calgary's had 2 of them. Scott Ranger will sit. Off the draw, it's Taylor Ray with the ball for Calgary. He sprints, bursts his feet to the goal, fires a shot over the net. Big rebound off the end boards. He comes to the penalty box area where Ward has it for Minnesota. 9-9 is our score.
All right, Calgary, you know how it works.
Minnesota trying to get something going here. They've struggled on the power play tonight. Ball by the crease area, that's knocked down. Molesky picks it up for Calgary. Molesky, there's a pass ahead from McBride, too far. Couldn't pick it up, and Minnesota has possession of the ball.
Yeah, unfortunate for McBride. That was a nice little break he had there, and I think he would have had a step off of the man coming off the bench there and probably would have generated a good look. Pass just a little high.
Just under 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. A 9-9 game. On top for Ward for the Swarm. Behind the back pass to Stewart. Side of the net. There's a close-in shot by Burns. Saved by Avery. Ball is in the corner. Picked up by Calgary. Ogilvy has it. His lead pass ahead for Krzyzewski. 1-on-2. Tries to split the defense. Stop. Turns. Fire shot and scores! Nice play. All effort carries Krzyzewski.
Excellent play. Excellent effort. This all started out at the back end by getting the turnover. In the back end, Ogilvy picks up the ball. Krzyzewski supports the transition. He supports the play. He gets it. This is just an individual effort. Splits the D, hangs on to the possession, and then puts it in the back of the net. I think probably Patterson would have liked to have that as he looks up to the sky after it goes in. Probably not expecting Krzyzewski to take that shot.
Well, an unbelievable solo effort gives Calgary a 10-9 lead over the Minnesota Swarm. Ball's in the Minnesota zone. The pass ahead. Taylor Ray runs over a man, picks up the ball, closing it on goal. He scores! Taylor Ray with a great effort, and Calgary extends it to a 2-goal lead.
This is excellent. This is what you talk.
Well, wait a minute. Is it coming back? Are they calling him for a penalty for running over the Minnesota player?
Yeah, I think you're right. Taylor Ray is definitely getting a penalty here. I didn't see the signal from the ref.
But they're opening the Calgary gate, and far from being a goal, Calgary is going to be down 2 men for the next 2 minutes. A lot of drama at the Dome. This is McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks Lacrosse on Shaw.
TextForCars.com, the modern way of buying and selling cars. Our online service allows you to instantly send and receive a text message for the vehicle you're buying or selling. Plus, you list your car for free. Join the revolution. TextForCars.com. Ladies, there are only 50 spots available in this year's Cardale Lady Cross Training Camp for Women. On April 7th, you can learn the game from the Roughnecks themselves at the National Sport Development Cardale Training Center. For all the details, visit CardaleHomes.com.
You'll love our style. but our prices will floor you.
Seven acres of Shakers, Calgary's newest family fun center. More challenge, more adventure, and definitely more fun for everyone. Take a tour on our 3D website. You'll see Shakers, Calgary's newest action-packed entertainment for everyone.
10-9, the Calgary Roughnecks lead Minnesota here in the third quarter of play at the Pengrove Saddledome. I'm joined by Ryan Ward of the Minnesota Swarm. 2 goals, 3 assists for you so far tonight, but a big concern has to be the power play with the way Calgary's been scoring shorthanded tonight.
Yeah, they've been getting a lot of good chances, which is uncharacteristic of being a man down, so we just got to communicate better and shut their chances down. We got to bury on our power play.
You got a 2-man advantage coming up right here, a good chance to erase some of that.
Yeah, this is a big play right here, so hopefully we can come up with a couple goals and we're up with the lead.
Thanks, Ryan. Good luck the rest of the game. That is Ryan Ward, a former MVP of the Western Lacrosse Association.
All right, thank you, Barry. We have a huge potential switch in momentum. A Calgary goal is disallowed. And, John, there's an extra man in the penalty box, Taylor Ray.
That's right. This is really unfortunate. Taylor Ray gets called on interference here as he kind of steamrolls this guy to get to the loose ball and then follows through with the play, generates a goal off of that. But unfortunately, Zeelenberg, who is not very popular in this building right now, called an interference.
That's being kind. But Calgary's down 2, and it's a 2 men. They're ahead by 1 goal on the scoreboard. They get the ball for Minnesota. For Stewart, they go across the floor, shot and a goal. Kelly Hall, and the crowd reacts.
So a real momentum killer. This PP is obviously generated off of that penalty, or because of the penalty, they get the PP. It's a chance for them to capture momentum. This is just straight ball movement on a 4-on-3. Generally on a 4-on-3, you're gonna get good outside looks, and that's what happens here. You get an outside look from the left shooter, and he manages to put it in.
Avery in goal, as earlier in the game, Chris Hall made the decision to yank Andrew Leschon, who played every minute of this season up to that point.
Now here's something interesting here, Mark, is that Calgary cannot release a man on that goal because there's a major in the box. They have to wait till there's at least 2 minutes gone, or there has to be less than 2 minutes in that major in order to release that minor penalty.
Well, it's 5 runners to 4 now.
5 runners to 4, but Calgary still has to hold 2 guys in the box, so they lose that extra player on the bench.
All right, so a little depth penalty.
That's right.
Call it, yeah. We're tied at 10. It's been a wild one for sure. Glad you're with us. And the Pengrove Saddledome, Calgary Roughnecks National Lacrosse League activities on the air. Minnesota with that 5-on-4. Ward on top of the point, fires a shot wide. The rebound off the end boards. Great hustle. Bolesky picks it up, absorbs a hit, fights through the check. He has a break. He closes it on goal. Lets it. Oh, couldn't quite get it away. Knocked from behind.
Just at the last second, too.
Oh, my. Ward hustling back. Couldn't get the shot off. But a great hustle play nonetheless.
Excellent hustle play. He ran through that check on the boards there in order to generate something.
Burns for Minnesota on top with the ball. Across for Stewart. His shot whistles wide, goes into the mesh behind the net, comes free. Pollock in the corner for Minnesota, goes across the floor. There's a quick shot, and they save Avery. Martin couldn't find the target. Andy Ogilvie for Calgary. Looking for Ratcliffe, cuts through the center circle. Ratcliffe dances, bounces it back out on top. Ron Cable has it. Sean, the object of our halftime feature, player profile. Ball in the corner. In front for Cable, can't get his stick on it. Loose, picked up by Lewis Ratcliffe. He has it, being bothered, retreats. Now fires a shot. Calgary, though, will be whistled and turns the ball over on a 30-second shot clock violation. And here's the situation. Calgary is back at full strength. We're tied at 10, precisely 2 minutes remaining, third quarter. Remember the CalgaryRoughnecks.com spot for tickets for upcoming future games, including Philadelphia on the 10th, or Ticketmaster 777-0000. Calgary back on a break. Krzyzewski with the ball, developing 2-on-1. Krzyzewski with the ball, closes in, shoots, save. Ball is picked up by Patterson, squeezes the pads. Long pass up the floor, too far. And Andrew McBride picks it up for Calgary. McBride handling for Shatler. Shatler across the line, bouncing it out on top for Tracy Kaleski. Kaleski stops, and we have a whistle. What do we have, an off-the-ball violation?
We do. We have, it looks like we got a hold off the ball here. Now, this is going against Minnesota, so I think Calgary's going to be wondering why they blew this down, because they had possession, but I think probably just confusion by the ref, and instead of waiting for Minnesota to touch the ball, blew it down right away.
John Sullivan, 24-year-old. And that's exactly what the coach is asking, saying, what's going on here? So Calgary on the power play in a tie game. Ratcliffe from the shooter spot. On top, Kaleski with a shot, whistles wide of the net. Big rebound picked up by Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe dancing, throws it across, quick shot and a goal! Nice play, Calgary, side of the net, they put it in. Nolan Hebner gives Calgary the lead.
You know, and I was just about to say, Mark, that Calgary's made a slight change to personnel on their PP. They put out Nolan Hebner on this one, and they held off Scott Ranger, moved Caleb Toth up to the crease. Lewis Ratcliffe finds Hebner with a skip pass down the crease, and Hebner has a wide open net and is able to drop that in no problem.
Little revenge for Hebner, who was dealt away by this Minnesota Swarm organization in the offseason. Here's a breaking in for Calgary. Maleski closing in on goal, fires over the net. Big rebound off the end boards. Martin for Minnesota. 40 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Gives it up for Ryan Cousins. Cousins goes across the floor for Minnesota. Return pass for Pollock. Pollock dancing up the plate off a pick, throws over the pick. Saved by Avery. Big rebound, Devin Ray. Ray, long pass ahead for McBride. He has a break. He closes in. McBride shoots. Big save. Patterson with the glove hand.
Very nice save. Unfortunate for McBride there. He was in the Minnesota offensive zone before Calgary even had possession of that ball.
8 seconds remaining in the quarter. Minnesota goes with the extra attacker. Ward for the Swarm. Behind the back pass, gives it up for Pollock as the quarter expires. Calgary holds a 1-goal lead. Well, strap on your chin straps. We've got a dandy coming down the stretch. This is McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks lacrosse on Shaw.
Calgary's youth are taking the broadcasting world by storm with the Cardell Kidcasters Cub Report on Shaw. Coached by sportscaster Lisa Bowes, these kids learn the ropes of reporting. Then the graduates are unleashed on local sports heroes at a full-blown press conference. Every week you'll discover new things about local athletes that you never knew. Watch the Cardell Kidcasters Cub Report, Tuesdays and weekends, only on Shaw TV.
Metro Ford is Calgary's largest Ford dealership. Conquer all-terrain in a new Explorer. Available with a V6 or a V8 engine. Find it at Metro Ford Calgary, 1111 9th Ave Southwest.
Flight Center sells more than just cheap airline tickets. We also have a huge selection of cruises to choose from. Come into any of our 130 shops across Canada or call 1-877-WORLD-05. And remember, we guarantee to beat any available airfare.
Shaw TV has 6 exciting McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks games this season. You can catch intense Roughnecks action as they battle their way through the NLL in pursuit of the championship. The road to victory will be full of hard hits and tough opponents. Be part of the raging crowds as they stand up against top teams throughout the league. Tune in for 6 games of McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks. The next game is February 10th when Philadelphia is in Calgary. Only on Shaw TV.
And we're back here, guys. We take a look on camera here at Scott Ranger. This is one of the newer guys to the team this year, first-year team. One of the guys that they really hope is going to generate a lot of offense for them. He comes in here, he's a very strong player. He's low to the ground, strong. He has excellent stick skills, which gives him great touch around the net. We see here an example of some of his strength, some of his touch around the net. Now, he's also got an excellent outside shot. Chris Hall has started him this game on the right shooter of the PP and moved actually Caleb Toth down to the crease, who, longtime Roughnecks fans will traditionally be used to seeing Caleb at the shooter. So Ranger is a guy that is going to really, I think, pay dividends for Calgary here.
5'10", 200 pounds. Very stocky customer as well. Calgary has the 1-goal lead opening up our fourth quarter. I don't know, John, if this technically is the absolute best game ever played, but a lot of drama, and both coaches are certainly churning right about now, trying to come up with that one big move that'll turn this game. Take a look at third quarter stats. Through 3 quarters, Calgary 11-10 lead, 38-27. Minnesota shots on goal, 4 of 8. For the Swarm on the power play as Calgary scores, tying the game up.
Well,
they're making it 12-10, Calgary.
Yeah, that's right. Well, this is Sushesky on this goal off a break, off a transition off the back end. This is what Calgary needs right now. They need a couple momentum goals, a couple secondary scorers. Sushesky is just trying to make something out of nothing, shooting off balance, and catches Patterson on the short side. Once again, Patterson looking up to the sky saying, no, I probably should have had that one.
12-10 Calgary. We mentioned those power play stats a moment ago. The big difference, though, Calgary has 3 shorthanded goals. Kari Sushesky scores for Calgary. It's 12-10 Calgary. Minnesota on the attack. The Swarms Burns with the ball, holds the stick high, runs behind the net. Now stop, give it up for Pollock. Pollock being bothered, behind the back pass. The shot clock is at 4. Minnesota in the corner. Ward turnaround fires, knocked away by Ward. New 30-second count as Avery makes the save. Back comes Calgary. And McBride in full stride. He curls back, gives it up for Caleb Toth. Calgary leading 12-10. Toth dancing with the ball, comes down the middle. Now goes across the floor, too high for Cable. Gowndry picks the ball up in the corner. Gowndry absorbs a couple of hacks from Boyle. Bounces it across for Koleski. Shot clock is at 3. Koleski across the line. Fires across the floor pass. And just as Ratcliffe got his stick on the ball, Calgary assessed the 30-second shot clock violation.
Yeah, it was the right idea, though. 3 seconds left. Koleski just trying to skip that down to Lewis Ratcliffe on the crease, but couldn't generate much of a shot.
Wasn't sure if the whistle went or if the shot got off. Regardless, Minnesota has the ball. There's a quick bounce shot. It scored, but they rule there was a violation. Calgary gets the ball. Hevener closing in, fires it. Knocked away with the stick by the goaltender Patterson. The Swarm pick up the ball near the center circle. Albert for Minnesota across. Feeds to a streaky player, side of the net. There's a shot and a nice save by Avery. Knocking it away from Pacey. It was close in, kicking it out. Krzyzewski back for Calgary. Calgary nursing a 2-goal lead. Krzyzewski played in the corner for Ratcliffe. He dances, bounces the shot, goes wide. Rebound comes off the end and goes into the crowd. Minnesota gets possession of the ball, and back come the Swarm. Ryan Cousins slowly to center. Troy Hill for the Swarm. 40-29, Minnesota with the advantage in the shots on goal department. Dancing is Stewart with the ball, being bothered by Bolesky. Closes in, fires a shot from close range. Calgary with the save. And McBride gets the outlet pass. Back comes Calgary. Calgary leading 12-10. Calgary sending on reinforcements, fresh legs.
And Calgary is also, or Minnesota is taking a penalty here, so Calgary has pulled their goalie here.
All right, man advantage for Calgary. Gowndry on top, back for Ratcliffe. Lewis Ratcliffe across the floor for Koleski, closing in, fires shot, picks up his rebound. Now cradles the ball, comes to the corner. Calgary with a man advantage and a new 30-second clock. A.C. Koleski, the captain, directing traffic.
Excellent clock management here, just trying to make sure everybody's in place.
Ratcliffe across the floor for Caleb Toth. He sidesteps the check, loses the handle. Loose ball picked up by Calgary. 11 on the clock. They're well away from the goal. Koleski again, directing traffic. Gracie with the ball in front for Toth. The shot, save, ball is knocked down. We get a whistle, and we're going to have the penalty assessed on Minnesota for interference.
Yeah, Caleb a little frustrated with himself there. I think he had more time than he didn't realize he had a little more time than he thought. Now in this penalty, it's goaltender interference, so Avery had possession of that ball and the Minnesota player touched his stick. Now in the NLL, if the goalie's got possession, you cannot touch that stick, even if it's incidental contact, and that's what happened here.
Penalty assessed to Minnesota's Scott Stewart. And Calgary again with a power play. Kelusky in front, give it up. There's a chance, but a good play by Minnesota. Sullivan pushing Gowndry away, and Minnesota comes back. Kemp for the Minnesota Swarm. Walks it into Calgary territory, now stops. Bounce it back out for Hall. Minnesota just spreading the floor, killing some time. They change on the fly. Minnesota with the ball in Calgary territory. There's a shot or a pass, ends up in the corner, and Calgary back on an advantage. McBride for Calgary. Andrew runs through the center circle, then goes for a change. Power play unit is on. Caleb Toth with the ball, shooter spot left side. On top for Ranger, return pass to Toth. Back for Ranger, on top for Tracy Kelusky. Kelusky directing traffic, give it up for Ranger for Caleb Toth. He loses the handle, kicks it to Ranger. He picks it up, closes it, fires, and scores! Scott Ranger, good pursuit on the ball, extending the lead to 3.
Very nice pursuit on the ball, keeping his eye on the ball when it hit the ground, making sure he picks that up. But I talked earlier about this guy's outside shot. Here we get a nice look at it. He's found the net in all the other areas. Here he just unwinds from outside and finds a column.
Calgary's power play in gear. Collision in front of the Calgary bench. The Roughnecks come up with the ball. Krzyzewski for Calgary goes across the floor in stride looking for Ratcliffe. Has to go back to pick it up. Across for Krzyzewski. Shot and a save. Ball is loose on the floor in front of the net, and it's picked up by Minnesota. Martin dishes off for Talbot, brings it into the attacking zone. He stops. Goes across for Hall, absorbs the check, goes around behind the net. Hill holding, looking for an open man. He's to Hill, he fires a shot, knocked down, save. And Avery holds on, and we have a timeout. All right, 13-10 Calgary over the Minnesota Swarm. 9:21 remaining fourth quarter. This is McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks lacrosse on Shaw.
TextForCars.com, the modern way of buying and selling cars. Our online service allows you to instantly send and receive a text message for the vehicle you're buying or selling. Plus, you list your car for free. Join the revolution. TextForCars.com.
7 acres of Shakers, Calgary's newest family fun center. More challenge, more adventure, and definitely more fun for everyone. Take a tour on our 3D website. You'll see Shakers, Calgary's newest action-packed entertainment for everyone.
Ladies, there are only 50 spots available in this year's Cardale Lady Cross Training Camp for Women. On April 7th, you can learn the game from the Roughnecks themselves at the National Sport Development Cardale Training Center. For all the details, visit cardalehomes.com.
You can book your stay online at motel6.com. See, we're hip. We'll leave the light on for you.
Calgary Roughnecks enjoying their biggest lead of this game so far, 13-10 here early in the fourth quarter. I'm joined by Scott Ranger, who just scored for your hat-trick goal on the power play. How huge of a goal was that?
It's a pretty big goal. You go up 3 goals. Three goals is a lot in this league, but you can't fall asleep because Minnesota's a good team and they'll come right back if we let them in.
Chris Hall just told the guys at the bench here that you need to play your most intelligent lacrosse in these last 9 minutes. How important is that to play smart, stay out of the penalty box?
Oh, I think it's huge. I mean, penalties, myself getting the major there was stupid penalty. So, we got to stay out of the box and just work really hard. And like CH said, don't make any stupid mistakes.
All right, thanks, Scott. Appreciate that. Scott Ranger, who signed on as a free agent before this season, guys.
And a good signing it was. Just thought the stability told me of the Calgary organization, the spot they were in the standings, the chance they had to improve. And he said, I want to be here.
Yeah, that's right. I think Ranger, over the course of this season, the Roughnecks fans are really going to learn to like this guy real quick.
Calgary with the ball, holding a 4-goal lead. There's a shot from a sharp angle by Lewis Ratcliffe. Big rebound picked up by Gowndry. Gowndry for Calgary, runs around behind the net, now stops. Now turns, comes, tucks it in, and scores! What a superb individual effort by Gowndry. Had everybody looking one way, he tucks it in. Calgary up by 4.
Wow, Calgary fans have seen Gowndry do this a couple times now. He did it in the first game of the season, and now here. Now this is a new rule this year. Before, you were never able to score from behind what's called the goal line extended. Now Kyle's behind the goal crease line, steps out into the front and tucks that in top corner.
John, one observation is Calgary has put 14 on the board. Very little from Ratcliffe, Toth, and Koleski. And that's a good thing because those guys can't do it all every single night. Here's a break for Calgary. Schattler out, developing 2-on-1. Schattler with the ball, fires a shot, hit the goal post. Big rebound out to the center of the floor. Pacey with the ball for the Minnesota Swarm. There's a pass in front for Boyle, closing in, save Avery. He smothers it and gives the outlet to Krzyzewski. But back to it, any thoughts on that? I guess, those guys are going to do the bulk of the scoring, but tonight they're quiet and it hasn't hurt Calgary.
That's right. Well, this plays in well to the overall philosophy of the Roughnecks. They want to have secondary scoring play prominently into their game plan. They want to have the transition game play prominently in their game plan for exactly nights like tonight when maybe the big three aren't going.
Both absorbs a hit. His helmet is knocked off. He looks around for a penalty, and I think will be rewarded. That's going to be an infraction on the Minnesota Wild as Caleb was really blasted.
Yeah, now here finally we get a call going Calgary's way with the majors here. Once again, I think this is third one of the game. Cross-checked in the head this year, automatic 5.
So Andrew Beers, the former Roughneck player and native of our city, is assessed a 5-minute penalty. So Calgary with a 4-goal lead and a chance to add more. Ratcliffe for Ranger. Ranger gives it up for Caleb Toth, who has that helmet strapped back on. Across the floor for Ratcliffe. Plays down low for Koleski. Losing the ball, and Minnesota picks it up. Long pass ahead. Bounce for Boyle in behind the defense. He takes a swipe at it, saved by Avery. And Calgary gives it up. Here's big bruising Ryan McNish. Gives it up for Caleb Toth. Calgary puts their power play unit on. Gowndry in the corner for Ratcliffe. Back for Gowndry, on top for Toth. He rifles a shot. He scores!
There we go. So just as we're talking about the big three maybe not being quite on track this game in Toth, Koleski, and Ratcliffe, Caleb Toth decides just to break it down to something simple, and he's got a wide open look here on the top of the PP. Nobody pressing him. He just releases his outside shot, and he has got some velocity behind that shot.
Now the Calgary Roughnecks have some room. It's a 5-goal advantage for Calgary. We have a fight behind the play. Andrew McBride for Calgary. He ties up with a Minnesota player. They trade punches. They're wrestling. There's another shot. Hall is going at it with him. McBride is absorbing. He's trying to get himself free so he can unload one. Hall with a shot. Now McBride sends him to the ground, and they break that up as the Minnesota Swarm, obviously a frustrated team, trying to do anything to initiate a little excitement.
Yeah, absolutely. Down by 5 goals here. Minnesota's just trying to get some spark on their bench. Minnesota's Pollock goes after McBride here right off the face-off. McBride is not, he's obviously not the biggest guy on the Roughnecks team, but he is a spark plug for this club, and he can hold his own out there, and he's not afraid to show up.
It actually was Sean Pollock, as you mentioned. Thought it was Kelly Hall, but They were at such close quarters. Well, I talked to Chris Hall. Minnesota has the most majors in the league, John. And I said, does that worry you? He said, you know what? No, he said, we are not a bruising, in-your-face, fight-you team.
That's right.
But if you want to fight us,
exactly,
be prepared for the consequences.
That's right. They have guys at all positions on this team that will stand up and show up for something like that if they need to.
And off of the draw, I think Calgary's going to get a penalty here. Looks like Kari Krzyzewski will go to the box.
That's right. Krzyzewski's getting a cross-check call here right off the draw. He's not very happy about it. Didn't feel like he had good contact on the player. The ref obviously saw it otherwise.
45-36, the Swarm of Minnesota lead in shots. But the most important stat, Calgary with a 15-10 lead, just under 7 minutes remaining. Martin from the middle of the floor fires a shot that bounces wide for Minnesota. Rebound loose in front of the penalty box area. Devin Ray has it for Calgary. Ray cradling the ball, looks for help. Gives it up for Gowndry. In the corner for Lewis Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe cradles the ball. Ratcliffe looks to cut off a pick. Ratcliffe stops. Back on top for Koluski. Koluski has the ball knocked out of his stick. Rolls into the corner. The Calgary captain with the ball in front for Gowndry. His shot goes high and wide. Ratcliffe, play clock is at 2 for Calgary. Shot by Ray-C Koluski. Big save by Patterson. Big rebound behind the net. Patterson has it for the Swarm. For Hall, 6:11 remaining. Calgary by 5. And we have a penalty coming up against Calgary. You can hear the Minnesota players whistling to get the goaltender Patterson's attention. They send on an extra runner.
Yeah, not a penalty though. Minnesota's just trying to generate something here with 5 minutes left, almost just under 6 minutes left. So they're looking to go 6-5 here.
All right, there's a save by Avery.
Excuse me, 6-4, Mark.
6-4, right. Back on top for Ward. Gives it up for Hall, on top for Ward. He can't penetrate. For Hall, there's a shot. Big save by Avery. Ball loose in the corner. Calgary trying to gather it in. McNish has the ball. He's off and running. McNish with the ball. Long bouncing shot goes wide as they send the goaltender back on the floor. Minnesota down by 5, trying to get back in. Gilby has a possible 3-on-1 for the Swarm. Ball is loose in front. And we have an off-the-ball violation, or is it a penalty on Calgary?
We've got a penalty on Calgary, a high sticking call against Gelsvik here. Gelsvik was just following this play in and got a little too much contact in the mind of the ref on the Minnesota player. We'll see if we can catch the contact. There it is. So far, you know, on that replay, it looks like we couldn't really see anything, but a little bit earlier he did touch, get his stick up a little bit high. But at this point, with almost just a little over 5 minutes left in the game, I wouldn't have expected that to be called.
Well, it is going to be called. It's a 5-minute major assessed on Gelsvik. Well, these officials are certainly following the letter of the NLL law. What's that, our fourth?
That is our fourth major
tonight,
yeah. So that's unfortunate. I think that Gelsvik, I mean, he really didn't get any contact on that play, certainly not warranting that 5-minute. But when it looks like the stick is high, then the ref has to call that. Now, we'll see once again here on the replay if we can find it anywhere. Oh, sure enough. So it looked like on that replay we do get a good look at it, and Gelsvik does get a good piece of him.
Here comes Minnesota. They're down by 5, and they got some big advantages. Side of the net. Martin tries to tuck it in and scores.
Well, that's good work by Minnesota's PP. They need to work quickly here, just a couple touches, and then try to get a couple touches, then get a shot on net. That was one touch, and Minnesota's able to put the ball into the net. Over the shoulder, down the crease, far side, tucks it in the corner. That way they can maximize their time on the PP here.
Calgary has 4 runners on the floor, but because of a major, must keep 2 people in the penalty box, so Gelsvik and McBride remain in the penalty box. That certainly hurts the depth, keeping those 2 players off the floor. Minnesota down by 4. And again, they pull the goaltender in an effort to get back in this game. They have an extra runner on the floor. All on top, closing in, fires it wide. Big rebound picked up by Ryan Ward, team leading scorer. Lays it down low for the Swarm. Behind the back pass. Hall with a shot. It's deflected and rolls into the corner. Picked up by Minnesota again. And we have a 30-second shot clock violation. Minnesota turns the ball over. The Roughnecks nursing a 4-goal lead. 4:29 remaining in our fourth quarter. It's McDonald's Calgary Roughnecks lacrosse from the Pengrove Saddledome on Shaw.
TextForCars.com, the modern way of buying and selling cars. Our online service allows you to instantly send and receive a text message for the vehicle you're buying or selling. Plus, you list your car for free. Join the revolution. TextForCars.com.
7 acres of Shakers, Calgary's newest family fun center. More challenge, more adventure, and definitely more fun for everyone. Take a tour on our 3D website. You'll see Shakers, Calgary's newest action-packed entertainment for everyone.
The Medicine Hat Lodge is Southern Alberta's only 4-star resort and entertainment complex. Enjoy executive guest rooms and suites, cozy restaurants and lounges, a giant indoor water slide park, full-service casino, luxury spa, banquet and conference facilities, and so much more.
Power refined, luxury reinvented, the Acura TL. A landmark combination of innovative technology and high performance. Northwest Acura, 125 Crowfoot Way, Northwest.
15-11 Calgary leading Minnesota here with 4.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I'm joined by the captain of the Roughnecks, Tracy Kaleski. Tracy, a very strong fourth quarter for this team so far, pretty similar to last week's game versus Colorado. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think we are in really good shape, and we're using that here in the fourth quarter. But still, she's a long ways from being over. We gotta be a lot smarter, that's for sure.
How about the performance of your young goaltender Ryan Avery tonight?
You know, he's been getting better and better every week, and you know, it's great that he's in here and he's stopping the ball for us, and he's standing on his head. So really, he's giving us a chance to win this game.
All right, thanks a lot, Tracy. Appreciate it. Tracy Kaleski, captain of the Calgary Roughnecks. Mark.
Well, he's been relatively quiet, but I think you hit it right on, Barry Strader. That an unexpectedly strong performance by Ryan Avery, who came in. Chris Hall rolled the dice, and it's worked tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Leishon coming into tonight. Leishon, the designated starter, had played every minute, and Avery, the designated backup, hadn't seen any action. But tonight, since he's come into this game, he not only has he been solid where he has to be, but he's been exceptional where he needs to be. So he's made some stops that you probably wouldn't have expected him, not just him, but any goalie to make. So that's great for Avery.
Avery, a big lad at 6'1", 200 pounds. All right, Calgary with the ball and a 4-goal lead. Ranger out of the box, gives it up for Toth, loses the handle in front of the net, picks it up, give it for Ranger, closing in, shot over the net. Big rebound, Toth can't get a hold of it, and Lewis Ratcliffe has it for Calgary. Ratcliffe dancing, fires a shot, a scoop shot. Knocked down by the goaltender for Minnesota, Patterson. Back on the Swarm, Patterson heads to the bench. Minnesota down by 4.
Yeah, once again, just trying to generate. You put the extra man on there, try to generate offense. Of course, the catch is that this is what's called the long bench for Minnesota, so the goalie has a long way to run to get back to his net.
Martin with a quick one-timer, knocked away by Avery. Martin gets the rebound behind the net. Ball out high for Ward. Ward gives it up for Hall. He dances, lets the shot go, plays it across. They can't get a shot off as it knocks wide. Minnesota picks up the loose ball. There's a shot and a goal. Ward from just inside the line. 15-12.
Well, that's an excellent shot, and sometimes there's nothing a goalie can do when a player gets a clean look, which is what Ward gets here. Nobody touches him on this shot, and it's an absolute bullet. Tucks it in top shelf, top corner, and when you can place the ball top corner like that, then you're not going to have much of a chance.
All right, well, we're trying to sort out the manpower situation. Minnesota tried to slide an extra man on the floor, and that's why Calgary gets possession of the ball. Of course, there's 2 men in each of the penalty boxes. 5-minute major Andrew Beers will be back on for the Swarm momentarily. Ball in the attacking zone. Calgary unable to connect on a pass. Lewis Ratcliffe picks the ball up. Ratcliffe with a move, spins, is shut off. Bill has the ball, stops, fires his shot. Patterson knocks it down and picks up the rebound side of the net. Minnesota into the attacking zone, closing in on a goal, a shot and a goal. Andrew Beers right out of the box and scores.
Yeah, right out of the box. So he had 5 minutes to sit there and think about what he wanted to do when he came out. And he catches a lucky break here because right when he comes out of the box, the ball finds him his way and he is able to move in on essentially a 1-on-0 with the goaltender. And we talked about Andrew Beers at the start of the game. He has nice touch around the net. So when he gets a chance, he knows how to put the ball in the net.
Well, Calgary again will have just 4 runners on. They'll be a man down because of the penalty. Greg Gelsvik. Ball is loose. A scramble for it. Devin Ray along the board trying to pick it up. He slips and falls. Ball is on the floor. Minnesota comes in. The Swarm's Boyle has it, loses the handle, and goes behind his net. 2 minutes, 24 seconds remaining. Minnesota trailing by 2. Martin Slowgate across the line. Setting up the power play for the Swarm. On top for Hall. It's a return pass. Little 2-man game. Ball in front. Martin a shot high and off the back of the end boards. Minnesota picks up the rebound. There's a bouncing shot. They score. Roared through traffic, and it's 15-14. And a 5-goal lead just a couple of minutes ago, John, is slipping away quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is another one of those cases where Ward is really found a nice range here with a bounce shot, tucks it in top shelf. Bounce shot is very difficult for the goalie because sometimes it's hard to read how it's going to come up off the carpet. What kind of depth does the shot have? How high is it going to go on the net? And this one went top shelf. Excellent shot.
It is 15-14. And Minnesota has the ball, looking for the tying goal. Camp dancing around. The goaltender comes out halfway, waiting to see if he's asked to come off the floor. Martin in the offensive zone on the point for Hall. Into the corner for Minnesota. They dance, 1:38 remaining. With the ball is Stewart. Stewart plays it to the open side of the floor. Calgary gets the ball on the turnover. Here's Nolan Hebner. Hebner plays it ahead for Sean Cable. 1:25 remaining. Calgary has a 1-goal lead, but John, they can't sit on it.
No, they have to be careful, but they have to play intelligent and clock manage, and that's what Cable does here, which is an intelligent play. Nothing's generated in front of him, so he just steps back, lets the personnel get on the floor, and then they try to manage the clock.
Big pass up the floor, closing in on goal. A shot bounces wide. Big rebound. Calgary gets it, just over a minute remaining. Evan Ray has it for Calgary. Ray stops. Ray now reverses his floor. Gives it up for Ogilvy. Ogilvy stops again. He's turned back. For Krzyzewski. Gives it up for Ratcliffe. The veteran on the floor. 45 seconds remaining. 10 on the shot clock for Calgary. Ogilvy makes a move. Comes down the board. Ogilvy closing in. Throws it across. There's a shot by Ratcliffe. High over the net. Big rebound. Picked up by Minnesota. Cousins has the ball. Closing in. He fires a shot. Knocked away by Avery. Bolesky in the corner trying to pick up the loose ball. They bang away for it. 22 seconds remaining. Minnesota still has their goaltender in. We have a stoppage in play. Do we have a play away from the ball or a timeout?
No, we have a timeout by Calgary. Excellent play with, the defenders as they go out here with less than 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. They'll know that as soon as they get possession, they can call a timeout so that they can settle without pressure, get the right personnel on the field, and now with only 17.3 seconds, everybody knows exactly what they're doing. Everybody will know exactly where they're supposed to go.
17 seconds remain. They'll turn off the shot clock here.
So we talked about Avery as well and how well he's been doing. Sorry, Mark. You see another critical save here by Avery late in the game to keep the score 15-14 as Minnesota generates another great look.
Well, Chris Hall is barking out some instructions, writing on his message board, pointing up at the clock. It's down to a 1-possession game. Calgary 15. Minnesota Swarm 14. Crowd into it.
That's right. Minnesota has pulled the goalie here so that they can put 6 players up on, and both Calgary and Minnesota pull their goalie, so it's 6-on-6 runners up here.
6-on-6. Calgary with the ball. The ball is taken. Minnesota can't get a shot up. Rolls behind the net. Caleb Toth has it for Calgary. Toth, they bang away for it, and what do we have? A stoppage of play. We have, I think, some problems with the clock.
Yeah.
I don't think it was turned on.
That's right. That entire sequence, the clock wasn't running, and right up until when the ball was thrown into the corner, then it started running. So we should be down somewhere around probably 8 or 7 seconds, I would say, when we start back.
Well, Minnesota, predictably, is a little irate about the whole thing, that the clock didn't come on. You can understand that. They're contesting it. Chris Hull looking on. Obviously, every second counts. He's summoning his players over to the bench, but they'll have to sort this out.
Yeah,
there was 19 seconds when play began, and they've got it at 13 now.
That's right.
Frankly, they should knock a couple more off, to be honest.
That's right. Actually, even at the start of that play, I think there was 17.3 seconds on there. And I think that sequence there probably took about 6-7 seconds. And Minnesota doesn't have much of a case here because the Calgary bench caught it right away. The timekeeper eventually caught it, and they all recognized that the clock wasn't ticking.
Well, Minnesota and their coach are going to push for as few seconds as possible to come off the clock as Dwayne Jacobs. Meanwhile, Calgary's Tracy Koleski pleading the Calgary case. And, well, they're making this.
Yep. Looks like.
Now, what are we going to have, a face-off in the Calgary zone or possession, Minnesota?
Looks like the end result is going to be a face-off in the Calgary zone with 10.4 seconds left on the clock.
Well, now Minnesota, their coach. There we go, 10.4 remaining. Dwayne Jacobs looking on, and he'll send in a play. We'll have a face-off. Devin Ray for Calgary. Now, Minnesota's called a timeout, understandably so. They want to set a play. The face-offs tonight, John, have been pretty even, so I can't say that either side in this situation has an advantage. I think it's right down the middle.
It has been down the middle. I think for the first 3, it's gone back and forth. Overall, of course, it's been even, but I think at the first 2 quarters, Minnesota had a slight edge, but in the second, the third, and the fourth quarter, Calgary's had the edge. And I think we'll probably see Devin Ray take this draw for Calgary. In my mind, he's been having the most success between, it's usually him or Hevener that take draws, and I think Devin's had a little more success here today. And with a critical draw here in Calgary's zone, of course, with 10 seconds, the idea here will be simply to either try to keep the ball on the ground for 10 seconds, keep it on the ground, don't let anybody get possession, and just kill this, run this 10 seconds out.
Mark Biashta is the face-off specialist for the Swarm of Minnesota. Devin Ray for Calgary.
That's right, Miyashita. And he's had actually some pretty good success tonight too. Minnesota rotates. They have 3 guys that take a lot of their draws. So we'll see, obviously, head coach for Minnesota feels like Miyashita's had the most success tonight.
And here we go, a vital face-off. Time is whistled in. They battle for the ball. Boyle for Minnesota in the corner, and you call timeout?
Another timeout by Minnesota, so great strategy here. Minnesota is able to gain possession. We saw there on the draw, Devin Ray, the draw man for Calgary, is just trying to hold this ball on the ground, see if he can't knock off 10 seconds. He did a great job. He got 5 seconds off, but unfortunately, Minnesota is able to pick up the ball, get a clean possession, and call a quick timeout. And now they'll have 4.9 seconds to generate 1 shot, which is enough time.
Minnesota bench trying to sort out what they'll do under 5 seconds remaining. And this one going down to the bitter end.
The bitter end, yeah. So penalty trouble for Calgary here in the fourth quarter, allowing Minnesota to climb back from, they had them down 15-10, allowing them to climb back into it here. And of course, when play resumes here after this timeout, of course, Minnesota will have pulled their goalie. They'll be looking at a 6-on-5 one-shot opportunity.
Well, Chris Hull has his instructions written down.
Yeah, generally speaking, when there's not much time on the board and you're under that 5-second mark, defensively, Calgary is simply going to try to create pressure immediately on the ball, make them force, make them make the play.
So 4.9 seconds remain. Minnesota with a one-shot situation. They'll have the ball in the corner. The Swarm give it up for Hall. He runs left. Gives it up. There's a shot. Rebound loose in front. A scramble forward, and the ball game is over. Oh, my goodness. Drama to the end. Couldn't get the shot through. The Roughnecks off the bench to congratulate goaltender Ryan Avery. That was a shot through traffic. And Calgary, based on some fine goaltending from him, some great play down the stretch where they hung on, they win their third in a row. Tough one for the Minnesota Swarm as their coach, Dwayne Jacobs, walks on the floor. Very, very tough loss for them, but couldn't get it going at key times, gave up some shorthanded goals, and Calgary comes up with a win.
Yeah, that's right. I think that, Minnesota had a pretty good game plan coming in here. They want to try to keep it close and see what happens when we get close to the end of the fourth quarter. I mean, you have to give them credit because coming in, they were flatlined offensively, and you might have said, I think we even said at the start of the game, that it would be unlikely that they're going to be able to generate enough offense to come back if they're down 4, 5, 6 goals. But of course, that would have been true 5-on-5, but the penalty trouble that Calgary got in allowed them those PP opportunities, and of course, Minnesota capitalized on those, making it very close.
Well, some oddities came out of this game for Calgary. I mean, not the fact that they won, but you see Caleb Toth shaking hands and Tracy Kelusky. They were not, as they are virtually every night the Roughnecks play, the centerpieces of any game for Calgary. They were real quiet. Same thing, Lewis Radcliffe, same thing, Andrew Lachon for that matter. They were not the centerpieces. Some other players took over.
Yeah, I agree.
And Calgary came out with the win as the Roughnecks salute this crowd of just over 11,000 at the Pengrowth Saddledome tonight, as they certainly were ready to roar and screaming and hollering at the end of the game. Well, our own Barry Strader has player of the games. Let's hear from him.
Thanks very much, Mark. I'm here with Scott Ranger, our player of the game tonight, with 3 goals and 1 assist. Scott, that was a little too close for comfort at the end, I would think, wasn't it?
Yeah, like I said, Minnesota's got a lot of firepower there, and you know what? Avery came in and played a heck of a game, and you know what? He stole a game for us.
A hat trick for you, your first 3-goal game as a member of the Calgary Roughnecks after signing on as a free agent in the offseason. How'd that feel tonight?
It felt awesome. I mean, these guys on this team are, make you feel so welcome here, and they're just starting to fit in now, and when you get lucky, and they go in. So, a lucky game.
Caleb Toth said the other day that it's not really a winning streak until you hit 3 wins in a row, and now you've done that, so it's officially a winning streak according to Caleb. But of course, lacrosse is always a game of momentum within the game, but the season too can be a big momentum game within the league in a 16-game schedule. 3 wins in a row. How important is that to get on a streak early in the season?
Oh, I mean, that's huge. I mean, in this league, you can't afford to throw games away. We just about did there, but we got lucky, and 3 wins in a row is a good start, but you know what? It's nothing to win that championship game.
Some good success here at home, and now you go on the road next weekend to take on the San Jose Stealth, a team you've already faced this season and lost a 1-goal game here at home. So you want to get some payback against San Jose next week.
Oh, definitely. I think they got a lucky goal against us on that one. Unfortunately, they beat Leish, and we'll come back and we'll be on fire that game, I think.
All right, thanks a lot, Scott. Congratulations on the game tonight, and good luck next week.
Thanks, guys.
Scott Ranger, our player of the game, 3 goals and 1 assist in that big win by the Roughnecks tonight, Mark.
Well, thank you, Barry, and I think you touched on a point I want to bring up. Boy, these guys don't do anything the easy way, do they? Let's see, overtime game against San Jose, come from behind against Colorado, hanging on by their fingernails here, but the 3-1, I guess that's what really counts.
Yeah, that's right. At the end of the day, that's what counts. You get the win, you get the 2 points. We talked about, every good coach, and Chris Hall would be no different, is going to have that absolute level of perfection that you have in the back of your mind, sort of that standard that you want your team to play up to, that optimal level of performance, not the relative game that maybe a lot of teams play. You hear all the time, while we play down to this team. You know, I think looking back over this game that this is a case where Calgary maybe played down to Minnesota's game plan. And, you know, good for Minnesota. They managed to capitalize on the chances that were presented for them, particularly in the fourth quarter where they were looking at a 5-goal deficit, managed to climb back to 15-14 and almost getting that last shot off there, almost tying it up.
Well, I don't know if Chris Hall has a decision to make in goal, but he knows he's got two that can play. Andrew Lachon's been terrific. Ryan Avery was great tonight, and we'll see what he does because he's got to make that decision by next Saturday when they go to presumably seek a little revenge against the San Jose Stealth in California.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, this is a great, this adds a lot of comfort, I think, to the coaching staff of the Roughnecks to know that now they've gotten a great look at Avery. He hasn't played any minutes prior to tonight. They weren't sure what they had. It's never the same as when you're in practice, when you get into a game. So now I think they can say, well, yeah, now we've got a real strong tandem here with Avery and Lachon, and maybe we can start balancing out the minutes if one goalie isn't running away with the starter job. And, you know, to come in relief tonight and play the way he played, that's fantastic for Avery, young Ryan Avery, and not just make the average save and the standard save, but some really quality saves.
Well, the Roughnecks turn a rout into a close one, but they manage to hang on and win by a count of 15-14. It's been a treat at the Pengrowth Saddle Dome tonight. Calgary Roughnecks lacrosse on Shaw. Reminder, next broadcast, that'll be coming up soon. Their next game, well, they'll be in San Jose. Next broadcast, Philadelphia here. Their first appearance, one of the marquee teams in the NLL. From the Pengrowth Saddle Dome, for all of our crew, for John Kilbride, this is Mark Steven. It's been a blast. We've had a lot of fun. And thank you for watching Shaw Roughneck McDonald's Calgary Roughneck Lacrosse.
Hair and salon services for Shaw TV, provided by Lather Hair Salon in Kensington.
Glad you're with us. I'm Helena DeVries with the weekend edition of Shaw TV. Calgary's Distress Centre has experienced yet another year of record call volumes. Our booming economy is being blamed for increased levels of personal crisis and stress. But the good news is the volunteers manning the phone lines are ready and willing to listen to your problems. Shaw TV's John McMahon reports.
It's a common topic on the streets of Calgary these days. People sometimes find it very hard to cope in our fast-paced, booming city.
I've applied to school, I have a daughter, I come to work every day. Definitely going to be worried about money, supporting my family. I want to buy a house. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do, and I think it's a lot to take in every day.
Coming to this city, and just everybody just seems to be stressed out to begin with, just with work, with traffic, road rage, and just dealing with everything else with life, right?
Being young, trying to start a family, buy a place. It's just work, and go.
Oh, that's okay if you want to cry. That's totally fine. I'm here.
The Distress Centre handles phone calls from Calgarians who are facing some sort of crisis in their lives. And like the rest of the city, business is booming on their lines.
Our crisis lines handled just over 80,000 crisis calls last year, which is a 12% jump over 2005.
The Distress Centre gets calls from people in all walks of life. During a typical day, issues range from dealing with crying babies to those who are contemplating suicide. At the heart of what the Distress Center offers to the Calgary public is its core of over 150 telephone line volunteers. These are people who have been described as super listeners.
It's a lot for one person to take on.
Phone line volunteers like Joe handle upwards of 30 calls in a shift, and they take it in stride, which to some may seem like a pretty tough task.
That's what lots of people say when I tell them that I do this, but it's really not that hard. You get such a good training when you start doing this that it's really not as nerve-wracking as you would expect.
Volunteers at the Distress Center get 70 hours of training before they go on the lines by themselves. And even during a really hectic shift, Jo says she doesn't get too wired.
Your instincts sort of kick in, you just stay calm, and the supervisors here are really great. You're never left alone to deal with really hard things. There's a lot of support there.
John McMahon, Shaw TV, Calgary.
Do you know, is he aware that there is treatment available for him?
The Distress Center is always looking to increase its pool of phone line volunteers. If you're interested in helping out, you can give them a call at 266-1601. Last weekend, a Calgary woman died on the C-Train tracks. This just after Calgary Transit launched a C-Train safety program. So when you watch TV, don't be surprised if you see transit safety commercials. The program is aimed at the 250,000 people that use the service daily. Lara Harrell has more.
For thousands of Calgarians, the C-Train is part of their daily commute. While most rides go seamlessly, on occasion, accidents happen when people aren't playing it safe. For 15 years, Gord Schneider has been a C-Train driver. He was involved in an accident when someone else tried to cut corners.
Just ran a red light. The driver was okay. The passenger was pinned. He didn't seem to be hurt too badly, though.
7th Avenue downtown is one of the areas C-Train drivers are eager to focus on during a transit safety campaign. They find themselves white-knuckling it as pedestrians jaywalk and neglect to look both ways as they cross the tracks.
The C-Train is never at fault in any of the accidents. It's people's carelessness that gets them into trouble. And so this is just a campaign really just to remind folks to be careful when you're on the C-Train. And if you adhere to all the rules, nobody gets hurt.
With new people moving to Calgary, transit officials feel it's time to highlight transit safety. Pedestrians aren't the only ones who are affected when risks are taken. They can cause a lot of stress for drivers.
For some people, it's really bad. Even just a close call, depending on how close it was. Sometimes when it's one where you just can't believe that you didn't hit this car or you didn't hit this person, it was that close. It takes a while before your heart comes back down out of your throat and you can catch your breath again.
Lara Harrell, Shaw TV, downtown Calgary.
While Calgary's new smoking ban means a lot of controversy, our neighbors to the west are facing a different situation. As of the new year, Cochrane went smoke-free, and according to town officials, things have gone quite smoothly. Lara Harrell finds out why.
It's a quiet lunch hour at the public house for server Kaylee Limbert. She says since Cochrane's full smoking ban went into effect on January 1st, business has gone down by 35%.
People used to come here for, 2 to 4 hours, and since the bylaw, they only come for about half an hour, if they even come anymore, because, they come here to smoke and relax and play pool, and since they can't smoke, they don't bother coming here. They'd rather buy a case of beer and stay home. It's cheaper, and they can do whatever they'd like.
The idea of a smoking ban isn't new in Cochrane. For the past 9 years, a smoking ban has been in effect in businesses where minors are allowed. That means bar owners have had a chance to warm up to the idea. Although some bar staff and patrons don't like a full smoking ban, Cochrane Mayor Ken Beck says he hasn't received any complaints. He says his community dealt with budding out when the partial ban went into place years ago.
So yes, there were quite a few concerns at that time back in '98 in terms of what was happening, and of course the right to smoke and the right not to be subject to secondhand smoke. In contrast, in sharp contrast, what happened with the 2007 bylaw that has just come into effect here on January 1st, the community has taken this so well.
Mayor Beck says some bars and lounges have seen business go up, with non-smokers stopping by. He feels one of the reasons why the new smoking ban hasn't had major opposition in Cochrane is because no business is exempt. He says everyone is playing by the same rules.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Meantime, Limbert is remaining positive. She's hoping her regulars get used to the smoking ban and come back to her pub.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Hopefully when it starts warming up where people don't mind standing outside and having a cigarette.
Lara Harrell, Shaw TV, Cochrane.
Well, the 2007 launch of the Stars Lottery took place on Tuesday. Aaron Strait brings us the story from one of the grand prize show homes.
Last year, Stars flew over 1,167 missions. One of those missions saved the life of Danny Wolseley. He was kicked in the head while training racing horses in Strathmore and was transported to Foothills Hospital by Stars after the accident, which left him blind. A few months later, Danny was overwhelmed when he was able to meet the Stars employees who saved his life.
A year later, I had the opportunity to meet with the Stars crew and actually be able to thank them for saving my lives. And then I found out, the severity of the accident and how devastating the injuries were, and how lucky I was to have them there, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here today, right?
The Alberta Shock Trauma Air Rescue Service has flown over 14,000 missions since 1985 and depends on its annual fundraising lottery to stay in the air.
The goal this year is to raise $8.2 million net, which would represent about 50% of our total operating expenses for the Stars mission throughout Alberta.
Many people don't realize how important the Stars organization is until they need them.
Now that something like this has happened to me, it's really opened my eyes to how important these guys are, right? It could happen to an accident of somebody, a family member that, now at least you got a little bit of, peace of mind that, if there's a chance that they're going to need assistance, Stars is going to be there for them.
With Stars expanding into northern Alberta with a new base in Grand Prairie, the service is now available to serve 94% of Alberta.
All the show homes for the Stars Lottery, like this one located in Evergreen, are now open for viewing, so you can check the houses out before purchasing your tickets. For information on the locations of these show homes, you can go to starslottery.ca. Aaron Strait, Shaw TV in Southwest Calgary.
The Calgary Tower has always been a big part of our tourism industry. It just recently opened a new center for visitors to our city. Aaron Strait has more.
In the past 39 years, 24 million people have made their way through the Calgary Tower, and Wednesday night was a chance for people to attend the grand opening of the new Visitor Information Center. Joe Fardell has been involved with Tourism Calgary for 7 years and is excited about what this new center brings to our city.
Calgary Tower itself is an icon, and what happens is when visitors come here, we usually send them here first because you can go up the tower and see what's around the city, see the mountains and all that. So having a center here makes so much sense, and to have the people come here first also, it's a big step for us to go forward in servicing the visitors when they come to Calgary.
The new 1,932 square foot Super Information Center is a product of the partnership between Tourism Calgary and the Calgary Tower. And Tower personnel say it offers so much more for Calgary tourists to see and do.
Some of the things that we're doing is one of the additional partnerships is with the Airport Authority. We now have screens in here where business people can check right here as they're walking through, is my flight on time? Are the people that are coming here going to be on time? We're anticipating putting in a boarding pass ticketing operation here, but the nice thing is it's what this place offers is it's a very comfortable, high-tech area where we can, through our internet cafe, which is run by the Tourism Center, offer to people the experience to be in touch with their home.
Joe also encourages local Calgarians to check out the new center, as they are the main reason that so many tourists visit our city.
There's 1 million people live here. A lot of them are new. A lot of them are visitors, friends and relatives that come here. So, in fact, the majority of the people that come to Calgary are visitor friends and relatives. So it's about 40% of the visitors that come here.
Hi, it's Saturn Saab in the Calgary Auto Mall.
taking good care of everything important in your life all starts with AMA Insurance. Experience AMA.
The City of Calgary Aquatics and Fitness Centers have years of experience providing quality swim and fitness-related programs and services. Teach your children the value of lifelong swim skills. For information, visit calgary.ca/pools or call 311.
Crowfoot Saturn Sub, Crowfoot Center Northwest.
With so many fabulous places to wine and dine in downtown Calgary, you're sure to find something that hits the spot. Find your D-Spot.
Petland. Pets make life better.
Elegant grace wrapped around a pleasing muscular growl. The all-new ML500, rebuilt from the inside out. Hyatt Mercedes-Benz, 9th Avenue and 14th Street, downtown. Purveyors of fine automobiles.
It wasn't on my to-do list before, but it may very well be one now. I do a lot of hiking, so I was definitely planning on heading down into the States later on in the year. But, I mean, it certainly won't stop me from doing it.
Actually, I have a passport. About a year and a half ago, I kind of seen it coming, so I went ahead and got it early, just in case I needed it.
It's quite inconvenient. I'm mainly concerned about how it's going to affect the Canadian economy in the long run, especially for our tourism trade with the United States, and hoping that it doesn't have too adverse or negative an effect.
Researchers and scientists at the U of C have 1.5 million new reasons to smile. That's because the Kids Cancer Care Foundation has raised that very amount in dollars to help pay for a new research center on the university campus. Shaw TV's Shiva Jahansha has the details.
I remember
pediatric cancer research in Alberta is $1.5 million closer to reaching new heights, thanks to a donation on behalf of the Kids Cancer Care Foundation. The gift will pay for a new pediatric oncology research center at the U of C's Health Research Innovation Center, which is currently under construction.
this center will put clinicians and basic scientists in the same location to be able to communicate on a daily basis, to be able to collaborate, and to be able to do research that makes a difference for children with cancer.
The opportunity to be a part of such a contribution holds personal gratification for the founder and CEO of the Kids Cancer Care Foundation of Alberta.
I lost my 9-year-old son to a brain tumor in 1991, and being able to actually fund childhood cancer is like a dream come true. It was something that I can't change that tomorrow for Derek anymore, but there's going to be lots and lots of children diagnosed today, tomorrow, over the next year, and it will really change their outcome.
The center will be named after the Hughes family, who made the lead donation of $750,000 to the foundation. The Hughes Children's Cancer Research Center is expected to see its first patient at the end of this year or early 2008. Shiva Jahansha, Shaw TV, Northwest Calgary.
Fast forward exactly 3 years and Canada will be just about ready to light the flame to mark the beginning of the 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver. A major sponsor has just been announced in Calgary. Lara Harrell fills us in.
It was an exciting time for Canadian Olympic athletes participating in the opening ceremonies of the Torino Winter Olympics. It will be even more thrilling in 2010 as they officially launch the Games in Vancouver.
Success, we define it in two ways. One is we're expected to stage great games, and we will indeed have...
Leading up to the big event, there are some major sponsorships, including one just announced involving Canadian Pacific. It will be the official rail freight services provider. Its involvement with the Games is valued at $15 million.
Well, we couldn't stage the games without partners. It'd be impossible. I mean, our target in Canada was to raise $725 million through corporate support, and so we're relying on a lot of friends to do that, and so this is another step in that goal. So it's a long way to go. It's a vital part of putting on a successful games, and thankfully Canadian companies have really rallied to support this like never before.
CP will give cash as well as offer its services for the games, which run from February 12th to 28th, 2010.
It's part of our Canadian heritage, and now thanks to a dynamic array of digital enhancements, the story of the hockey sweater will provide a whole new type of learning experience for generations to come. Reporter Jeff Tincher has more.
Would you be so kind as to send me a Canadian hockey sweater for my boy?
An age-old Canadian classic is getting an impressive technological makeover, and it's all designed to make learning English and French more fun. Quebec author Roch Carrier's classic story, The Hockey Sweater, also known as Le Chandail de Hockey, is now part of an interactive CD-ROM. Larry Katz is a professor at the University of Calgary. He spent 3 years helping to design the interactive learning tool, and he says it's all about getting people to learn language within a familiar, fun context.
If you learn language within a cultural milieu or within concepts that are important and meaningful to you, you'll learn it much better.
The CD-ROM features everything from audio games and fun facts to trivia and information about Canada's national pastime. It also features prominent Canadian hockey players like Team Canada's Hayley Wickenheiser. Wickenheiser says learning tools like this one are so important in keeping Canada's prized hockey tradition alive.
Well, I definitely knew the story. We watched it in school, I remember, as a kid. But I would guess that most of today's generation of kids don't know that much about the hockey sweaters.
Wickenheiser also says it's a win-win chance for kids and even newcomers to Canada to learn more about French and English language and culture.
It's a big piece of Canadian history, English and French, and Roch Carrier's, a very famous author. So I think that whole component teaches kids a lot.
Okay. For grade 9 students like Jacqueline and Suzanne, it's a chance to further develop their language skills using a technology they've grown up with.
I think it's good because it's technological, you kind of go through the computer, and it's easier because it's really interactive and it's easy. You couldn't really do the same thing through a book.
Along with the CD-ROM, the legacy of Roch Carrier's words and story also live on through the $5 bill, where he writes, and I quote, "The winters of my childhood were long, long seasons. We lived in 3 places, the school, the church, and the skating rink. But our real life was on the skating rink." Jeff Tincher, Shaw TV, Calgary.
The environment is a major concern for many Canadians, and there's an initiative in Calgary aimed at making our air a little cleaner. Reporter Lara Harrell has more on what a local college is doing to encourage its faculty, staff, and students to go green.
Brent Mann is taking steps to go easy on the environment by walking to and from work every day. As part of a Mount Royal College campus environmental initiative, the college staffer has given up his parking pass and now leaves his car at home during the workday.
So I think it's a real college focus right now to get people taking public transit, walk and bike to work. There's also the financial benefits of not having to pay the gas prices and the parking fees associated with bringing a car to work.
Mann recently moved closer to work so he would have a shorter walk. Mount Royal College is encouraging students, staff, and faculty to follow in Mann's footsteps. As part of an effort to clean up Calgary's air and reduce campus traffic, a campaign called See Choices has been launched. It urges people to not drive to college by improving bus service on site, and it highlights carpooling with priority parking.
So what they've done is say, here's an online internet source where you can find a ride, or you can get a ride, or you can offer a ride. And as a consequence, you match up.
Students are also given financial incentives to not drive to work.
Students have to buy a parking sticker on a semester by semester basis. So you buy a parking pass for a semester. But if you decide for that semester you want to do it, you can turn your pass back, get your money back, and use it in other means.
Mount Royal gave Man $100 for choosing an alternative to driving to work. He says he also saves about $400 annually by not having to pay for parking on campus. Along with helping the environment, he says there's another benefit.
I can't see myself making another choice at this point. The benefits for me too, I get to go for a walk 10 minutes each way every day as well. So
Man's enjoying the fresh air, and he hopes others on campus will follow suit by going green as well. Lara Harrell, Shaw TV at Mount Royal College.
When it comes to pets, reptiles are a popular choice. In this week's edition of Critter Care, Dave Will and Robert Church tell you about the monkey-tailed skink.
Critter Care is brought to you by Petland. Pets make life better.
Recently on Critter Care, we introduced you to the blue-tongued skink and got a pretty positive response, a lot of interest in it. Fascinating animal and a cousin of the blue-tongued skink. Today, Robert Church, you're going to tell us all about the monkey-tailed.
Not a cousin of the blue-tongued skink.
No, this guy right here is the monkey-tailed skink, and called that for an obvious reason.
The monkey-tailed skink you're referring to. Right. Okay, well, we've got a fascinating reptile here today. This is monkey-tailed skink, also called a Solomon Island skink because it's from the Solomon Islands, also called a prehensile-tailed skink. This is a very, very unusual little animal because this is the only skink and one of very, very few animals that has a prehensile tail. Much like a monkey can wrap things, a monkey can wrap his tail around things.
Tell me about this guy. What makes him unique besides the monkey tail, the prehensile tail?
Well, this is the largest member of the skink family, and again, from the Solomon Islands, which are a group of South Pacific, very tropical, rainforesty type islands, just northeast of Australia. If you're looking at a globe, it's only that far away, so quite close. And again, tropical rainforest type of animal is the key here. Also interesting about him is that it is pretty much strictly a herbivorous type of skink. Most skinks eat, insects and bugs and things like that. This guy is okay, let me see if I can get this right. He's an arboreal foliate herbivore. So he's arboreal, means he lives up in the trees. Foliate means he eats a lot of the foliage and stuff. Herbivore means he's pretty much a vegetarian.
All that and oviviviparous too.
And oviviviparous, we were both working on that one.
A word with 3 V's in it. You don't hear it every day. What exactly does that mean?
Oviviviparous is quite interesting. These skinks are quite difficult to breed, and it's because what happens is they actually have an egg and they gestate it inside their body for 6 or 7 months, and then it actually usually will hatch inside their body, and then they will just have one baby at a time. And so it's not a rapidly reproducing type of lizard. He's not going out laying 25 eggs every 6 months. This is a very sensitive species.
What will this guy eat?
Well, this guy, we feed him berries, and we feed him lots of, different dark green leafy stuff, fruit, just a good variety of fruit and vegetables. And then we would supplement it a little bit with a calcium, a vitamin and calcium supplement to make sure that they're getting everything. But it is very, very important that you do your homework with these guys. This is not a beginner reptile, and this guy deserves exemplary care in your home.
And quickly, the rainforest, you couldn't get much further from the climate here in Western Canada. What kind of a setup do you need for him?
You're right. We need to again set up a large space for them, and with lots of branches for climbing, lots of hiding places. We need to keep the humidity up for them, and you're right, that is a challenge here sometimes. There are humidifiers and things like that you can add, and also they typically will drink water from leaves, so you actually have to spray their cage a couple times a day. That helps keep the humidity up, and then they'll lick the water right off of the leaves.
And what about interacting? You've got him here on a chunk of wood. He can bite, and in a big way, can't he?
Well, these guys are considered a fairly docile skink, and his defense mechanism is, look at him. He just fits right in with the foliage, right? So they're not a particularly aggressive skink, but he does have massive and very powerful jaws, and that is so that he can, bite through vegetables and things like that. But typically, he's not going to be using it for defense, and so they're a fairly handleable type of skink. I think ideally, if you want to make friends with your pet Solomon Island skink, try getting to eat out of your hand, and make friends with them that way. They don't mind a lot of handling. They're okay with it, but again, I'm holding them on a piece of wood. One reason is because they also have very powerful legs, very, very sharp claws. Just a fascinating animal, and again, gotta really learn about them. And the more you learn about them, the more fascinated you'll be with them.
And that's a good note to leave it on. Robert Church, thank you very much. He's our pet expert on critter care, and we will see you next time on Shaw TV.
No, hey, look at the resemblance.
Pets make life better. Petland.ca.
Who is the largest Lamborghini and Ferrari dealer in Canada? Who does performance work and services every car they sell? Who has tons of Lamborghini and Ferrari products? ZR Auto. Live your dreams now.
Master Formula Black Cohosh is traditionally used to help relieve menopausal symptoms. Don't let menopausal symptoms take the joy out of life. Master Formula Natural Health Products. Available at local health product retailers.
It's about celebrating life. And Carpool Wednesdays. The Nissan Quest with a 5-star crash rating. Calgary's best deals are at Fish Creek Nissan, 14750 McLeod Trail South. Shift space.
It's the Alberta Junior Hockey League's All-Star Weekend out in Canmore. Main events on the schedule are the Top Prospects game on Saturday, the AJHL All-Star game itself on Sunday. All these games feature young hockey players who obviously love the sport and want to continue playing hockey wherever they can for as long as they can.
There are numerous Alberta Junior Hockey League grads who have done well for themselves in and out of the game. Danny Heatley used a season with the Calgary Canucks to get a scholarship to Wisconsin and then into becoming a first-round NHL draft choice. Mike Commodore went from the AJHL to becoming a fan favorite with the Calgary Flames before he got a chance to hoist the Stanley Cup last spring with Carolina. While Dan Bertram played for Camrose before enrolling at Boston College and winning back-to-back World Junior Hockey gold medals. Those are all pathways that these current AJHL All-Stars would love to travel down. 19-year-old Jesse Perrin of the Okotoks Oilers was selected to play for the South team in this year's All-Star game.
Oh, it's exciting to be selected and...
voted in by the fans, man.
Yeah, it's very exciting and it's good. I believe I've been having a fairly good year and just to be selected is an honor.
What kind of a player is Jesse Perrin?
Well, I've been told I'm kind of a stay-at-home physical defenseman. Putting a couple points up on the board now, but yeah, basically stay-at-home defenseman.
What about your AJHL experience on the whole? What would you say about that?
Oh, it's been a great experience. Playing with a lot of skilled players, and it's definitely made me a better hockey player.
Now, Jesse, there have been AJHL players that have gone on to bigger and better things. What's in your future?
I've been talking to a couple of NCAA scholarships to schools and hopefully get something done along those lines.
Now, the captain of the South team is Canmore's Brock Mahalski at age 20, a 5-year veteran of the Eagles, and he's excited to be wearing the C.
It's something that's, I guess, selected by the coaches, and I'm very grateful for that. Hope they, I'll try my best, and it's a great thing to wear it in front of your home fans, too. But,
Brock, look back on your 5 years with the Canmore team, and what'll stand out for you?
This is definitely up there. This is one of the top experiences of my life so far, and I did play in the All-Star game last year too, but hopefully this will be greater, if not as great.
Now, a lot of guys have gone through the Alberta Junior Hockey League and gone on to other things in hockey and not in hockey. What do you look for in your future?
I hope to play college hockey. Hope to get an education. Don't know where yet as of now, but somewhere, I know for sure.
It's quiet now, but this weekend that'll all change with first the AJHL Top Prospects game, followed by Sunday afternoon's All-Star game, as the top players in the Alberta Junior Hockey League get to strut their stuff
as they strive to further their hockey careers either through college or perhaps major junior, with an eye someday on maybe the ultimate prize, a job in the NHL.
A former member of the Calgary Dinos has a chance to play in the 2007 Super Bowl NFL Championship in Miami.